everyone, it's BellaDovah. I hope you all had a great Christmas and I wish you a happy new year. Today I'll be showing you all of the mods I've found for The Sims 2 that have been released towards the end of 2025 from October to December. As always, you'll find a link in the description and pinned comment to a post on my website with all of the links to the mods shown in this video. Once again, I've not really done anything with The Sims 2 this quarter, but I have still kept a close eye out for new mods for you guys and checked Tumblr pretty much every day. I found lots of goodies, but not the overwhelming amount there was last time, so this video should hopefully be a bit shorter. My last video didn't do as well as I'd hoped, so I really want to work on getting the length down in 2026, perhaps transition to a monthly series instead or just focusing on the highlights, but for now I really hope you enjoy this one and stick around for more to come next year. As I said last time, the majority of my viewers are still unsubscribed, so please make sure you subscribe if you aren't already and you do enjoy my content. I also hope to spend more of my free time on Sims 2 soon, both modding and playing. Last time I said I'd been playing Oblivion Remastered and was coming to the end of my playthrough with just the Shivering Isles left to do. Well, I haven't really done that either. I've lost interest if I'm being honest, but I do still intend to play it through and complete it. I'd hoped to have the mods I made for it released and my mod list published, but I'm not quite there. I do have some mods in draft on Nexus and I'm not far off finishing my mod list, but it will take more time. The worst thing has happened, if I'm being honest. Since watching T1 win the World Championship, I am hooked on League of Legends again. I'm starting to wonder if I'll ever make it out of gold, but it's keeping me distracted from everything else anyway, so please bear with me. I do apologise that I keep getting fixated on other things besides my usual Sims 2 hyperfixation. I think I quite like how I can't physically make a project out of League like I end up doing with pretty much everything else. But anyway, I'm rambling, so let's get into the mods. Okay, so the first thing you might have already noticed is a new road default replacement, and that is this Penny Lane British style road. So naturally, being British myself, I was very curious about this. We've got the little pavement patches that help the blind see where they can cross the road, the zebra crossings, and I like how the pavement, goes right up to the road. There isn't a grass. I'm noticing I never actually put back in my usual terrain default replacement after looking at a different default last time, so it's looking particularly vanilla today. I usually use Nopkey's kind of Maxis Match Not So Dull grass, but we will roll without for today and just admire these lovely roads. So I'll hop into a lot now and we'll see what it looks like there. Alright, we're starting with the Pleasance again today, but fear not, we will see other households and even different neighbourhoods today. But for now, we're starting here. I'm really realising just how awful the Maxis terrain is. I thought I'd still be quite used to it, because obviously the Not So Dull replacement is quite faithful to this, but it just still makes such a big impact. It's really awful how pale green it is and how much dead spots there are. If I quit out the game for anything, I'm definitely gonna see if I can put my usual default in along with these roads. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. So yeah, just sorry for the eyesore for now. But anyway, like most road defaults, when you first go onto a lot, it's not there. You have to place the road pieces yourself. So they're in Decorative Misc for free. You have to put move objects on, and I have an alias for that to shorten it in my user startup sheet, and then just rotate it to place the roads and just place it to join it all together. And then there we go. When you go in live mode, it matches up. As I pointed out before, there's always a slight lighting discrepancy between the neighborhood color and the lot color. That's just the way it is, but it still makes it look consistent enough, and I really like this default, guys. Honestly, it could be a contender for one that I would actually keep. I usually use Red Pirates or Veronaville Quilting Bees. They're the same creator on different accounts. Maxis Match Roads, and in Veronaville I'd use the Cobble Roads, but I like this one. I think it looks good. It's quite dark, I suppose. Obviously the pavement's usually lighter, isn't it? I do quite like that these paths usually match the path of the road, but I think it's a nice one. And you've got the double yellows, but what I am just thinking about now is the double yellows are everywhere, and obviously when you take a car to a community lot that doesn't have parking spaces, then they do just park outside, so they're going to be parking on double yellows, aren't they? So that might, be a bit strange, but if, you make all your own community lots and make sure you have those parking spaces, then that would make it very realistic. But anyway, yeah, I will have this default in my game for throughout this video, but let's move on and look at some other stuff now. I'm trying out a new default eye replacement again. As I said before, I'm not 100% sure what default eyes I want to roll with the next time I'm properly playing, so I'm just keeping it open-minded for the new one to come out. And Asymptotical is making some really nice Maxis options. So there's Angela showing off the green. Lilith would look the same, wouldn't she? So let's look at Mary Sue's brown eyes. There we go, they're nice. And Daniel's got blue eyes. No, he's got green eyes, hasn't he? So yeah, we can only see green and brown in this family, but again, this will just be in for the remainder of the video, so just keep an eye for who else we see. The green is pretty pale, but yeah, I think they look nice. We've also got a very interesting default replacement for the Zodiac signs, which turns them into the birth signs from the Elder Scrolls. And as I've mentioned before, Elder Scrolls is my second name. Dovah comes from Skyrim, so this is really neat to me. I'm not sure if I'll think these worlds will blend in this way, but I still think it's a really cool concept. So I do not remember what Daniel was before, but he is now a lady. The lady is a constellation of 4 stars, which is in the night sky during Hearthfire, which is a month in the Elder Scrolls. And which one is it? I want to say September, but that might be wrong. I've got to check. I was right. Hearthfire is September. So as you can see, these are all the Elder Scrolls month names, and they all have a corresponding birth sign. So yeah, Hearthfire is the lady. It is one of the warrior's charges. Those born under the sign of the lady are thought to be kind and tolerant. Interesting. Mary Sue is now the steed. The steed is a constellation of 8 stars, which is in the night sky during mid-year, which I believe is June. Yeah. And it is one of the warrior's charges. I'm not sure what is meant by warrior's charges. Those born under the sign of the steed are thought to be impatient and always hurrying from one place to another. I would definitely see Mary Sue as impatient. The girls now have the same one. I feel like they were Gemini before, were they? I don't know. I might have made that up. The Lover is a constellation of 12 stars, which is in the night sky during sun's dawn. I don't know which one that is. Sun's dawn is February. It is one of the thief's charges. Those born under the sign of the Lover are thought to be graceful and passionate, which is the same for both twins. So yeah, that's just a bit of lore. There's 2 parts to it, and you don't necessarily have to have both. One will, I think, just replaces the sign, like literally the image, and then for the text to change, that's actually, you have to have a live package in your game, and some of you may already have that if you have a mod to replace the default townie names, like the pool of randomly assigned townie names for newly generated townies. I made my own one time long ago. I mean to share it, but I can't really remember my methods for coming up with names. I think it was very much kind of based on British, Italian and Spanish names. I might dig that out one day. But actually you can only have one live package in your downloads folder at a time, so I'd have to literally put them together in SimPE, which probably isn't actually difficult, but yeah, just bear that in mind. You can only have one live package, and usually the use of that is to edit townie names, but I didn't need different townie names in this video, so we've got the Elder Scrolls sign defaults. Next is something very interesting. Christmas might be over, but we are talking Christmas now, and that is seasonal holiday decorations. So we have a collection folder for it, very handy, and lots of these decorations are, what you'd usually have just for Christmas, but these are so cool because they will just adapt to the season by themselves. There are also Christmas trees, but what I think I've done is I've put the collection folder from the first download and not the updated one from the separate Christmas trees file. So the Christmas trees aren't in this collection folder, but they are elsewhere. But let's look at some other things. So let's say we want a wreath here for Christmas, but it's not winter, so let's see what it's gonna be. That was awkward. Just tried one that seemed to work. Maybe it's because it's a wall object. Okay, let's try this plant. So let's say don't want this plant when it's winter, we want this plant. There we go. When we switch to live mode, when it's not winter, it will become a different plant. So we'll leave that there for now. We'll get a few out and then we'll change it to winter and see them all transform. So you can see it's like a original model, I guess, in live mode. I guess it makes sense the other way around, but obviously, like, you're decorating more specifically for Christmas, aren't you? So I guess that makes sense. Let's try a different wall one. Why are there two of these? These are two different ones. So these, you can either have them turn into bells or just disappear. So let's see if these work. Put the bells here. Yeah, and poof, in live mode, they are gone. We've got stockings, which are just invisible all the time, apparently. Oh, look how they're not like a custom object, these two, though. Whereas the ones that seem to work are like marked as custom. Oh my god, so that's Easter for summer. That's a bit weird, actually. I imagine it's got an autumn state as well. And there's another set of bells. Oh, ceiling bells, I see. Mistletoe again, but that's not marked as custom. Let's see a gingerbread house. What happens to that? Oh, that's a fruit ball. Oh, I love that. That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm just gonna get a few things out. So the Christmas trees are here. Look, so maybe. All right, I've got quite a lot of the stuff out now. Decorating in various places. So let's see in what happens in live mode in summer. So yeah, that I thought that might be an outsidey one that kind of turns into the little rabbit, which is cute, instead of the Santa. So that's the Christmas tree when it's not winter. The candle thing is a boat. The snow globe becomes a ship in a bottle. That is perfect. A coincidence that I put it in the bathroom. It's very fitting there. We've got a cactus and this plant here, which turns into these. These wall ones just disappear, look. We've got a nutcracker, which becomes a plant. So yeah, that is the idea, just dynamic decorations. Let me see if any of them have states for other seasons, and then I obviously just roll over to winter. Set season, let's try autumn. Oh, there was another thing there, look, that's a little bow instead of a card holder thingy. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, that is the summer one. Okay. It does have a summer one that's now apparently in autumn. Okay, that's a little strange. Maybe let's change spring now. I'm not sure about that one. But let me finally set to winter. And Dustin just came and I didn't even get told. And there was a mod that was supposed to change how that works, I believe. So I guess nothing's working today. That's what we like to see. Oh. Well, that one's just 7 minutes autumn now. Oh my god, and that one's a cornucopia now, look. And that one's a little... Oh, that's so cute. They will update at 6 AM after the season changes or when you go in or out of live mode.
One eternity later.
Oh, I bet I know why. I bet I know why. For God's sake. It'll be because it's going on quadrant, which I would usually set them to, not this ridiculous summer first system that Max has decided to go with. That's why, because it's the third season, which for some reason is winter, but in anyone's logical mind, it would be fall. And that's how my holiday mod works and how I've configured all my holidays to be. So actually, that's exactly what I'd want. God, I can't believe it's taken me so long to realise this. Silly, silly, silly. So now if I put it in spring, which is the fourth one, should be winter, and make it set pick over to 6 again, I bet it'll register them as winter this time. The Christmas tree did it. There we go, everything's done it. Right, so it's the quadrants that matter. So I've now gone in neighborhood view and changed the season cycle to a way that makes sense. So winter is season 4, and I'll confirm that and then set everything back up. So I've got everything in place again. I think for some of these are just in the collection just for convenience to just grab out when you want to decorate. So this is just where you look when you're ready to decorate for Christmas. Not all of them are dynamic. I don't know why the stockings are invisible, but I think with the trees and the windows it's just a place to put them rather than they've actually been affected by this mod, I believe. But we've got lots of stuff that definitely is, and it's now the first one, which is spring, and then absolutely no trouble, these have their lovely spring decoration and they are all in their default states. So now let me cycle through the seasons in the correct order. My seasons and time controller thingy. So let's make it summer now. And I'll make it. Or maybe they said just going in and out of live mode, does it? Yep, it does. There we go. We've got the summer one. I think that's probably it that's different between spring and summer, just that one. So, but if I make it fall, a few of the other ones change. So there we go, set to 4, got in and out of live mode, and there we go. We've got the autumn now. We've got the cornucopia instead of the fruit bowl or the gingerbread man, and we have the autumn decoration for this one. And then the star of the show, let's finally make it winter in its place, and there we go. Everything is its winter decoration. Oh, how cool is that? Sorry for not getting it at first. That was me being very silly, but I imagine, you know, some of you might run into these problems too, so we figure out them together, don't we? I don't know how much of a mess I've got to face in editing. But yeah, hopefully that gives you the clear picture, as you can see with this seasonal setup, which makes a lot of sense. They change smoothly, absolutely no issues there. I imagine it doesn't matter if your seasons are a different length either. I'd usually have my seasons be 7 days long, and I literally have a proper Christmas thanks to the holidays mod and Halloween and things like that, and Easter. So they'll be amazing. I think for me the Christmas tree is a bit of a stretch, like having a big plant in your corner all the time. I'm not sure how often I would use, but a lot of the plants I think could be useful. I really like the gnome. I can see that being very handy, having a dynamic gnome. I really like the gingerbread house slash fruit bowl slash cornucopia. I think that's quite nice as candles versus a bow. I think that looks okay, but again, perhaps I'd just have nothing if it wasn't for the candles here. They're handy that they just disappear. What else? Yeah, I think that plant, like, it's alternative non-Christmassy plant. To be honest, I didn't even know that was a Christmas thing, to be honest. It looks quite similar, but I really like these, especially if you want, you know, to have seasonal decorations up all the time, then that would be great. I really wish we had seasonal wreaths. That's something I wanted to do for my house this year, but I never got around to it. I'd love to have a wreath on my door all year round, you know, one be just wintry, one be autumny, one be summery, perhaps with some flowers, one be spring-like, perhaps with lavender or something like that. So that would be cool to see down the line. But yeah, I think this is a fantastic idea, and there's definitely some of these I would use. I think that is very fitting that it turns into a ship in a bottle. So yeah, I think a lot of the transformations are very logical. I wonder how easy it is for you to like change yourself. Perhaps you could open it up and fiddle around. But anyway, let's move on. Finally, this is the mod I wanted to show you. It's kind of an expansion on the bring home options, so we can befriend him or reject him. So I guess we will just befriend him and not bring him. Obviously they've been chatting in school today, but I don't want them over. That portion of it is very much just like how the original bring friend home options works. It just renames it. The original mod says, is that okay? And you can press yes, no, or ignore. And the kind of hidden thing about it is when you pressed no, the friendship still got a boost. it's only if you press ignore that nothing would happen. And once upon a time, just for my own game, I actually renamed that no button to be cheat, because I thought, oh well, that's just cheat in a relationship. But I have since changed my perspective on that, and it just means obviously they've been in school together all day, they've obviously got to know each other there to a point where they're literally thinking about bringing them home. They wouldn't bring someone home they don't know at all, so it makes sense that they're either befriending them and coming home with them, or at least befriending them but decided not to bring them home, or being told they can't bring them home, or whatever. It's only ignore or whatever that other option said in this new mod, where nothing would happen if you didn't want it to. But there's more to this mod, and the first thing to know is that this is my second time trying, well actually maybe third, trying to record this, because I've just went through like a full week, at least like 5 times, of sending the girls and at least one parent to school and work, and nothing happened at all on any day. No one was trying to bring anyone home or befriend any of them. That is part of this mod that changes the calculation of whether they're going to. So it says here, the chances of bringing any friend home depends on the factor of outgoingness, reputation, and the hospitality inspiration benefit. 5 charisma is almost guaranteed to bring any friend home. The number of presented sims is increased linearly by charisma, but obviously Lily still only got 1 sim, perhaps because there's not many playable teenagers in Pleasant View, but I don't see why townies wouldn't have been included. So what I did to just make sure it happened was to max the girls' charisma skill and their outgoing personality. So obviously you wouldn't really want to do that, you know. But it seems like if they don't have charisma and aren't outgoing, the chances of them actually wanting to befriend anyone or bring them home is very slim. Let's see what's going on. Let me do the same for Mary Sue, I guess. All of them, I suppose, just so we can see the options, and then I will do another day and see if we get a different option, because it can be multiple sims with this mod, which I'd really like to see. So Mary Sue didn't fancy it. To be honest, in my old like Veronaville playthrough, I swear I had an issue with adults bringing friends home from work. It would literally never happen. I mean, like 0% of the time, and I literally tried a mod to increase the chances of it, and it just wouldn't happen. It was like something was blocking that event from ever happening. To be honest, I wasn't too bothered, because I feel like it's a bit, I don't know how realistic it is anyway, like adults bringing a friend home from work. Like, it was always a bit annoying, but obviously it would be nice to have the option to at least befriend someone they've been talking to. But yeah, but obviously this is completely fresh, so whatever weirdness I had causing that shouldn't happen. I also had an issue with burglars would literally never ever ever come. I think I only got one because of the genie lamp consequence when you wish for money, but under any other circumstance no burglar would come. And obviously this chance is supposed to be increased with family wealth, and Veronaville has a lot of money and big houses and expensive things. Literally never saw a burglar, so I definitely had some issues going on with events firing. But we have seen, I mean, I guess it was a scripted event, it wasn't it, with Calientes, but I swear like this is completely fresh installation, download folder, everything, so I can't imagine that it would be blocked. So I'm going to just try and tick over to the next day and see if any of the girls or adults want to friend anybody. Wait, was Justin just here anyway? Did he just come anyway? Just Dustin again for Lilith. So just befriend him. Then now best friends, like it got a stronger boost. But that's it. I've spent quite a lot of time faffing about getting everyone to school on new days and stuff, so I'm just going to show you the description at this point. So I'll just flick through the pictures. So obviously like this is what we've seen. I never saw a next, it was just reject. But you can have multiple friends. Would like to befriend the following number of students. Do you want to befriend them all, reject them all, or just pick one of them to be friends with? We never saw that, and I kept trying to make it happen. So obviously this explains that it's built on the original 2 Jeffs like option, expanded making one for work. There is a different mod for work, I think it was by Monique originally, but someone else has updated it to be apartment life compatible. So that already existed. And it also kind of shuffles, supposed to shuffle the kind of friend that's at the front of the list. But I swear Similar 90s also got a mod for that, which works with the bring friend options. It had the issue of like the highest ID number or something like that being always the one to come. So it needed reshuffling, which apparently this mod does, but we only seen Dustin. I'm not obviously gonna put in all the footage of it, but I've tried many times on lots of different days, and it was only ever Dustin, and most of the time nobody. I'm sure Similar 90 has a mod that reshuffles that array. But anyway, so the SCR and LTR can be further increased by charisma. We've talked about the chances, which I found were a bit rough. Like without the charisma, they just never did want to bring anyone. Number of presented sims is supposed to be increased by charisma, but they've got max charisma and only ever saw one. Same with outgoingness. It can be a maximum of 6. By default, we configure it to be up to 10. But again, we only saw one. I don't know if I just got unlucky or it's just very like you do really need a lot of these factors to get more than one. But I don't see why it would be like that on purpose anyway. Primary idea is to present sims less known to the bringer, so those with high LTR are less likely to be selected. I feel like you're more likely to bring like your boyfriend home while you're not. I don't know. I feel like this could do with some tuning, but it's a cool idea that, you know, that if they're outgoing and confident, they might have befriended a lot of sims in that day. I don't think it says anything about, it doesn't say anything about town it is, but they're usually included in this, so I don't see why they wouldn't be. I don't know. I'm not going to spend any more time on this. You know, feel free to check it out and let me know if it works for you. I think it's a cool concept and I'll keep an eye out for updates. But for now, I'm going to move on. Next, we're going to look at, well, kind of 2 mods actually, which are kind of expanded and overhauled from some things we looked at last time. So the main part of this is the vehicle maintenance mod, which is kind of like a redo of the vehicles need gas mod. So as far as I'm understanding, the kind of fuel features are still part of this and more. And if you remember last time, we also looked at Addict's Go Out mod, so you could click on sims and send them off lot for the amount of times they were gone. And you know, I was saying then how good it would be to be able to be on cars. Well, that's the thing now. Apparently they can do it even if they can't drive, which is interesting. I'll get to that in a minute. But this is actually, I've only installed version 1.2 of vehicle maintenance. The Addict has basically made the send off lot part of this, but she does have a standalone go out with cars mod, which may actually be a little bit more updated and polished than the version in this. But I just wasn't sure with the integrations with this mod and the driving license, so I just thought, for simplicity's sake, I'd just install the 1.2 version of vehicle maintenance as a bundle. But I do think it might be an idea to swap out the send off lot module of that with Addict's standalone go out mod, because it's like basically the same but perhaps not quite. I don't really know, it's a little bit confusing. But yeah, like I said, Addict is still pretty much responsible for the feature included in this mod anyway. I do have the driving license mod installed. We're not going to be looking at that because there's nothing new about it, but the compatibility with that is very important to me, so that's why we just have it in the background. So because I've added this car, you know, after starting a game, none of these sims have, you know, a license through grandfather rights or anything like that, so nobody has a license. But apparently we can use this send off lot interaction, which is a little bit strange, but I will give Daniel and Mary Sue a license so we can see all the options. There we go. So now they have all the options and that unlocks a lot more. I just do think this should be a lot behind it as well. So you'll notice that those kind of rubbishy interactions that were from an old mod by the 9th Wave aren't here anymore. We do have a new one for going to the casino, which is part of Mel's car globals. I believe that's the only thing that's kind of been taken from that. It doesn't require, it's just kind of inspired by that and brings it forward. It now is compatible with the driving license. So as you can see, all these options do seem to be working smoothly. And now we have this maintenance subcategory. So the installing the car alarm has been moved under this, and we have options now for oil and battery, and we can check those. I do think it's strange that there's no fuel check. I mean, obviously, maybe it's just supposed to be obvious that it's full at the moment, but you know, these are full as well because this is a brand new car, so I don't know why we can check these but not the fuel at the moment. In fact, in none of the pictures of vehicle maintenance have I even like seen an interaction to do with fuel, but all the fuel pumps and everything are still there, and it is now called fuel instead of gas, so it's just a bit more universal language. So we've also got this cruise around option. Is that actually a vanilla option? I don't know. Let's start with the casino. Let's just have a look at that, see if it reduces anything and see what it does. I believe it just sends them off a lot for a set of time, and there's a chance they will lose or gain money after it. So it was 7 something. You're not going to work today, no, Sue? I feel like the car's still here. Oh, it's stopped now. Right, so he's back after about, I think, 4 hours that was. And he wasn't so lucky, and he actually lost 27 simoleons on that trip. So that's just, you know, a way to get your sims out and gamble some money if you want to. I'm not sure what other options were on Melthcar Globals. I never used it myself, but maybe that was like the only one like worth including in this. I don't know. So let's see. So there's still no fuel option, but has it changed any of these? Yeah, it's so he did a mile apparently to the casino only. And battery's still excellent, but we now can buy these things. So we've still got the jerry can as we had before. We have tires, we have a battery, jumper cables, and motor oil. All the things you can buy on a residential. So can we do anything with any of these? Is that a check condition of a spare battery? What happens if they're in... I thought there was something about being able to store a tyre in the car. So the teenagers that don't have a licence, this is their options log. So they can do their driving lessons. But yeah, they can still be sent off a lot in a car, which I think is a little bit unusual. Let me just see what happens if I put these things in Daniel. Oh, you can't put the tyre in. Can you just like... I swear on the description it was like you can store the tyres in the car. Oh yeah, we can replace the battery, even though we did have one in excellent condition. Let's just see what it's like. I guess sometimes you'll need to. So, that's a bit far away, to be honest, Daniel. I wish you could be a bit close to the car doing that. It'd be really cool if it could look like the fixer-upper car, but it doesn't seem to. We can't change the oil, even though we do have motor oil. It's in excellent. Why can we still replace the battery? As in, like, taking out the old one, maybe. Let's all go to a community lot, which I have made with all of the new stuff for this mod, and see what happens. Let's go to a community lot with everybody. I've built this lovely car lot. Lots of love and care and effort into this lot. It's definitely some of the best work, this one. So here we are at the car lot, and to look at this, we have an option of where to park. Do we want to park in the car wash, at the fuel pumps, or the parking spot? I'm going to go at the fuel pumps, I guess. And there we go. They'll choose a spot at the fuel pumps. So these are ordinary parking spots. I think you have to mark them with these blocks, or perhaps you just need a meter on the lot. I think it's either or. And then there's also this decorative, I believe it's just decorative car wash space. But the car doesn't need any fuel, so let's just fill the jerry can, I suppose. You always just fill this can up. Still nothing new. But now, as you can see, this is the fuel pump we looked at last time, which was nice and everything. But now we have 2 more options so that you can, make it suit your needs. I think my favourite is this one. But, we love options, don't we? Obviously, I can't really show you parking in different spaces, but it's very cool that you can choose where to park. So I hope you can imagine, having this kind of convenience store place with some ordinary parking, with some fuel pumps. So yeah, we'll see if we can do anything with the fuel later. But I'm just gonna, for now while we're here, I just want to look at another mod, and that is this wall art thing. So I've placed this box here. I really wish it could be placed in someone's inventory and then they can get it out on a community lot. Like there's a self-interaction to spray paint where you stood. But I do think it has to be... I think my mouse is dying, guys. I think I keep accidentally... Anyway, Lily's gonna come and decorate this drab lot with her street art. So we've marked a spot and now she's gonna do it. This is the floor version, but there is a wall version as well. What's it crazy? Oh, a thunderstorming. Of course it is. Taking quite a long time, which was, fair enough. She doesn't seem to be building any creativity from this, though, which is a shame. Or hobby enthusiasm. But still, it's a cool concept, and now her floor mural is done. I'd probably use the wall ones more. Perhaps we'll take a look at that later. But anyway, that's past the time while we're here. So we'll have them leave. It'll be about 4:45, maybe even 4 o'clock by the time they have actually gone home. So it doesn't seem like we can do anything else. I don't know how much is in his jerry can, but he definitely did an interaction on it. Perhaps he could do it again. So let's just go home, and then we'll send them off the lot for the amount of time they were gone. Can you please get out of the way, Brandon? Oh my god, they drag forward. That's probably my bad with the way I set the parking spots up. If I'm being honest, I have never done like functional parking at a community lot, so I don't know what I'm doing, unfortunately. So that was my best guess. Right, so they're all back at the time they left. So now let's just the car kind of reset. They all get away from the driveway, and then we can send off lot. And what's amazing is that now everyone can come. And then we have the option to freeze the motive, so depending what you're doing, you might want that. In this case, we do, because their motives are already depleted while they were at the community lot. So we don't need to, that's essentially doing it twice if we didn't freeze the motives. So yeah, in that case, you probably do want to freeze them. And this one is indefinite. It works independent from the Go Out mod, so I don't have that in my game because we just don't need it right now, in an empty test folder. Oh, it was about that time, so you just cancel it when it's about the time that you wanted them to come home. It's just as long as it takes until you cancel it, which I think is fine. You just obviously need to keep an eye on the time. But I do think it's cool how the walk version, has options for set amount of hours, so you don't have to think about it. But you can use that with this. You can use them both, or just one or the other. So that's cool, that they work independently from each other, but do work together. So, has that done anything to the car? There's still nothing about fuel. Maybe if I just send Daniel off the lot for a bit more. Cruising around. I think that's just like a fun interaction. So if I check oil, what happens then? So that's gone down by 3 miles. Battery's still excellent, which you would expect. I mean, you wouldn't expect this to be fast, It's not every day that you need to change your oil or your battery, is it? But I don't know how to do anything with the fuel. Is it disabled by default or something now? Because I'm just not seeing the option anywhere. So this was a little bit confusing to get my head around, I'm not going to lie. So this is the initial post, but it's had 2 versions since then. And look, it can have tyres and washing in this maintenance. Oh. But still, where is... There's no fuel in this picture of interactions, but it does say text strings now say fuel instead of gas. Fuel pumps now are B compatible, the nozzle's being improved. I swear the name of this file for the car wash was just decorative, but it looks like it could have some function. So I guess you'll need the jumper cables if your battery completely dies out. There's theft features with trait support, so you can siphon the fuel as you could before, which we never saw, but now you can also slash tiles and steal batteries. At least we've seen this part of it. And then there was 1.1, which wasn't anything major. This is where the send-off lot was supported multiple people, and the send-off lot portion is compatible with the driving license, but I think that needs a bit more because, like I said, I feel like a person initiating the send-off lot shouldn't be able to do so without a license. It has patches for story progression, which I don't use. And there was 1.2, which I just installed, only that, nothing else. And that was confusing because there's just like 2 whole versions, one for either Visit Other Sims or story progression. I was like, well, I don't use either. I don't particularly want either of them, but it seems like you can just still pick and choose files, and I was able to just not have the Visit Other Sims files, so that's fine. It was just a little bit confusing the way it laid out, as if it's like got to be one or the other. There's some little bug fixes. This thing about the institution sign that makes no sense to me at the moment. Adds the option to store spare tires in a car. Well, I can't find that either. I'm gonna see if I can do some tuning, maybe make the like thresholds much lower so we can just see them for demonstration, check that petrol's not disabled. Let's just save it here and I'll try back around. So the only tuning options in this main file, well, looks like it would be the main file, just seems to be about motives, which I guess is for performing maintenance, so the amount of fun you gain, but energy, hunger and hygiene, bladder, comfort decrease doing it, and the skill you gain. That seems to be the only thing there. The only other thing I can think of is that the driving license either isn't fully compatible or maybe there was a load order issue, so I'm just going to try taking out the driving license mod and its associated patches. There is one in here for it, same with the send off lot, so I'm just going to try that. It seems like the fuel pump is just like for the items. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of separate file for just fuel in general. So at the moment, that's the only thing I can think of. So I'll try that, but otherwise, I don't know. I don't know why I'm not seeing any fuel options. I don't know why I can't put the tyre in the car or see any kind of tyre maintenance options or any kind of washing maintenance option. I don't know. Okay, I've now taken out driving license and it doesn't seem to have changed much. Same options in here, but I've realised that there's a debug option for maintenance. So what's this? Okay, so checking the fuel appears in debug for some reason, and we can empty and fill the tank here. You have the options to disable things, but it must mean they're all enabled. But still, even now that I've emptied the tank, there's no option in the normal one, and now I'm not going to be able to go anywhere. There's no option to fill it up from the jerry can, is there? See, I had got it down to 3/4 of a tank, but there was no way to see that at all. Can make it dirty. I don't think that's going to have a visual change. Let's get some dirt around here. I don't think that does anything visually. Oh, you can wash it if it's dirty. So I think... Or not. People in the way? I can't seem to get to it to wash it. I don't get it. In the file name of the car wash thing, it's literally described as decorative. So I don't know why that would be needed. What else is in here? If we make a flat tire, then what? It now comes in here to change the tire. Oh, and he'll grab it and then not be able to access it again. Why not? I feel like nothing's working today, guys, and I feel like I keep running into this more and more and more with these videos, and it tries my patience. It really does. Oh no, do not drive to work. No, do not drive to work. Maintenance. Can you wash it now? Oh, we did the change the tyre even though we stomped at it. Okay. Because that's not there as an option anymore. Let's kill the battery then. So it's got a dead battery now. So let's replace it. It'll stand quite far away to change it, because he did have one in his inventory, but I'm expecting now that that will vanish because he's not just swapping them. So now what? Right, so he's got an excellent one. Do you still have one in your inventory now? Yes, is this all one and now is this dead? Yes, that's the dead battery. Can you do something with it? I don't know what you can do with the jumper cable. I don't know cars very well. Can you charge it or something, or is it just... It's 10 simoleons. How much was it to buy? 10 small. I mean, I feel like they should be more expensive. The oil isn't in the debug menu. I don't know yet. I feel like this is a really good proof of concept, but it's just not there at the moment. Last thing I'm going to do with this is I'll send him to the community lot. I'll empty the tank there and then see if we can fill it up with the pump. I don't know why we can't fill it up with the jerry can, but let's just have Daniel by himself go to our lovely car lot. I'll debug empty the car once. Oh my god, that was weird. I'll debug empty the car there, and then we should be able to fill it up with the pump. I hope. Goodness. Right. Park at the fuel pumps, please. Okay, right, so you can only fill a jerry can, but if I now debug, fuel, empty the tank, can we now... Yes, we can now fill the tank normally. So I guess if earlier would have come back when it was 3/4 of a tank, we'd have probably been able to use it then. It's just not... It's not visible at home to be able to check it anymore. And for whatever reason, you can't seem to fill the car using the jerry can, from what I can see. But I guess I should have put these on the other side. But there he goes. It's taken a while because it was completely empty. It's gonna get some petrol. I'm going to go home and move on because I'm quite stressful. It's driving to the field again. But yeah, I'm very excited about the concept of that mod. It just used with some mining out, I think, but overall, I'm very excited at the concept of being able to, well, just cars being a continuous cost and having lots for filling fuel up and things. I think it's a great idea. I think I'd take a leave the battery or oil feature, but it seems like it would be very slow to happen for them to deplete, so I don't think that's a huge issue. I do think the batteries should be more expensive and then they have like no value once they deplete or something. I'm also really excited about the send off lot thing. They go out. I could try TDX just standalone, but I definitely would want the petrol features with it all just working properly. So I'm just really glad there's now a full alternative to community time, so they can just go out when they need to be off the lot, because they were, and if they went in the car they can you know, take the car off the lot again, and then someone else that didn't go then can't use the car because it's not there. So it's all realistic and linked together, so I'm really happy to see that. So yeah, if you're only interested in that portion, just check out TDX, go out with cars, and I'll just be keeping an eye on how both of these mods update and keep being intertwined and things. I now sent the Pleasants to a edited 290 Main Street to look at some things that affect the community a lot here. And the first thing I've immediately noticed is that I've placed down one of these breakdancing dancer mats. And this is an animation improvement by Pineapple Forest that makes them stop doing the weird thing that completely disappears the neck. The neck is still there. It doesn't just like pop into their body like a turtle. So yeah, this dance used to look really strange when they did this move, but now it looks a little bit more human. While muting the music doesn't apply to this object. Okay, she stopped for a bit. Hopefully that's good enough. So that's what they used to do. Right there. Just completely, you know, remove their neck. So that was a good reference video that P Forest linked on post, and now it just doesn't look so strange. So that is a huge improvement. It's one of those things that I always used to notice and find very strange. But anyway, there's a few things going on here. Oh, she's starting again. Why is there no bartender? Placed a bar and was expecting a bartender. I think I'm gonna have to delete this object. It's gonna get on my absolute nerves. Why is there no bartender? Is there only certain bars on a community lot that make a bartender? Surely not. Ah, there we go. That one spawned a bartender. Okay. So we want a bar to look at the mod bartender cleaning duties. So I've placed this punch bowl because that is one of their tasks apparently that they will do. They will clean up the lot. So these cups that are left on the floor, I'm hoping this bartender will now clear them up. And also if people make something on the barbecue and leave the plates, I'm hoping we'll see the bartender go and clean that up. So in fact, I guess I will just have Daniel grill some hot dogs, or he has no cooking skill. Neither does Marisu. I find that so unrealistic. How have they survived this long with no cooking skill? Another thing I wanted to look at are these pet displays. Some are invisible. So obviously in this setup, it looks a little bit strange that they're literally just stood statically in the middle of the room, not doing anything. Looks like that guy's just bought a dog. Popped him in the bag. Bartender's still not moved, trying to keep an eye. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at the bartender. She just yep, there we go. She's cleaning up her area. That's fantastic. So yeah, as I was saying, it looks a little bit strange that they just stood statically in the middle of an empty room, but obviously if you use your imagination, you could kind of create your own little rooms for them in a pet shop, a pet shelter. But also there's these bigger ones, which I really like. I love these so much. This is much better. There's one of each for both cats and dogs. So there's this glass one can be for dogs as well, and this cage one can be for cats as well. But these look so much better. They have a lot more space. They're not, they look like they've actually got their own little place. They're being looked after with food, water, toy, bed, litter box. This is just so much better. I love it. So I could really see a much nicer looking pet shop using either of these, especially the glass one. I think that's nice. So yeah, if you want to be kinder to your pets, then you want to grab that. So yeah, there's no cups lying around. The bartender's keeping on top of it. Oh, and looks like she's gonna come and clean a plate. Oh no, another cup she's found. So that mod just makes bartenders a lot more useful. They'll actually perform some chores. Everyone's taking ages to eat. I also wanted to look at the wall version of the spray painting here, so I'll have Lilith go and do that. That takes a while to complete as well. Yeah, someone's finished the plate, so she's going to come and actually wash that up in the bathroom. Obviously, you probably want like a proper kitchen with an actual sink, or ideally a dishwasher, but that's what we've got going on here, so that's what she's using. She's gonna clean the plate and just be a lot more. Okay, it looks like I didn't quite place that. I should have moved that one more up, so there we go. That's a better reference. So you need two tiles to the right of where the box is for it to look properly. And now this looks amazing. I kind of wish the box could be invisible, or like I said, be in their inventory and they could get it out. But yeah, this is so cool. Maybe it can be invisible. I never actually checked. No, it's not. That's cool. But yeah, it's a shame that it doesn't seem to gain creativity or arts and crafts enthusiasm. Yeah, the bartender's carrying on, so I think you get a good idea there. That's really great for making them a lot more useful. And I believe the last thing I wanted to look at here are these food displays. Obviously they look just like this one, the normal food points one, but these ones are by Addict that you can actually use to buy fresh fruits and vegetable from. So we can buy apples, strawberries, lemons and oranges from either of those two. And the vegetables, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, beans and eggplants. But it looks like she's just gonna... Oh, it's a continuous interaction. Yes, that works a bit like the fish one that also exists. She'll keep grabbing him until you tell her to stop for the kind of amount that you want to get. So you just have to keep an eye. So we've got 3 lemons, 2, 3, stop. And we'll have just 2 oranges, stop. Oh, let's go for just the one tomato. Oh no, she grabbed two. Okay, you have to be quick on that if you only want one. Oh, there we go, 2 cucumbers. There we go, I managed to get just one pepper. Okay, I've got a couple of beans, stop. And 1 eggplant. There we go. So now in our inventory, we've got all these fresh ones. So we've got 6 apples because I didn't realise it was the continuous buying, but it does make sense. Obviously, you do tend to want a few of these. If there's no menu to select how many you want, it's more likely that you're going to want more than one rather than just one. So it's a reasonable way of doing it, and if you've used the fish kiosks before, then you'll be used to this system. So yeah, we've got strawberries, lemons, oranges, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and pole beans and eggplant. So that's just a quick and easy way to get those fresh fruit and vegetables. I'd really like to look into the work in progress mod that kind of makes food require actual ingredients, so that'd really be helpful for that. But otherwise, I think we just need to wait for Lilith to finish her artwork. It doesn't even seem to gain enough fun. I think this could do with a little bit more work, to be honest, but it's a really cool concept. It needs to, you know, it just seems like the normal decay of needs. The fun's not going down, but I do think it should be fun, gain creativity and arts and crafts enthusiasm. Looks like she's almost done. And there we go, it tells you when it's complete. So this is what Lilith has produced here. So I believe that's everything we wanted to look at. Sorry Angela, you've been a spare part while we've been here. She's literally just stood at the car waiting because autonomy's off. But let's go home, everyone. And they're coming back at the time they left, around 11:30. But I think they actually left the community lot about 6. So we'll just have them kind of reset. They kind of have to clear off the drive, and then we can send them off the lot, bring them all because they were all there. We do want to freeze motives because the motives already went down on the community lot, so we don't want to do that again. And just speed along until about 6 o'clock when they should actually be back. Daniel has been fine, so that's tanked his needs. Obviously events like that can still affect them, but we don't have just the normal need decay. And obviously they all went this time, but if they hadn't all gone, then someone else could have gone out during that time. So it's about 6 o'clock now, so we can cancel the interaction and have them come back. And there we go. The realism has been simulated. They're not at home during that time, they were actually on the community lot. But what makes this better than the community time project is that if someone in the household hadn't gone, they could have gone out during that time. Obviously not with the car because it was in use during that time, so they've been sent off the lot in the car as they went. But someone could have walked to a community lot and being sent off the lot separately to suit their own timings during that time. So that's why I'm really excited about this. This send off the lot with the cars really completes this kind of idea for me. So thank you so much to Addict. I will definitely be using this instead of community time project in my actual next playthrough. Now let's go torment someone else. Alright, for our next few mods, I have decided to do something crazy and come to my actual Veronaville hood. This hood is very precious to me, but I basically haven't played in 2 years now. So at the beginning of 2024, I quite significantly upgraded my computer, and it was at that point I decided I wanted to start fresh. You know, I didn't want to just plot back my sloppy downloads folder back in and just roll with it. I kind of committed to myself that I was going to start my downloads folder again, start a new neighborhood. I always kind of wanted to come back to this. Obviously some things might have been different, you know, with a slightly different setup, but I was kind of getting bored with the hood, with some of the families anyway, not all of them. The pre-mades are getting old and dead, so I guess that kind of made me lose a bit of interest. But I remember kind of just before upgrading my PC, I was trying to have this big wedding party for one of Reagan and Cornwall kids, their daughter, was getting married, and they had went to their parents' holiday home in Tecumseh Village, so it was like a destination wedding. It was really beautiful, but I was getting so frustrated because I tried to like have this party 3 times and have this wedding, and I couldn't get through it without crashing. And it was at that point, like, obviously that made me take a bit of pause out of frustration. But then once I did upgrade my computer, I thought, try it again, see how it is, just plonk everything back in. But I still was committed that I wasn't going to continue on with that. That wasn't going to be my permanent Sims 2 folder anymore. I still wanted to start again. I just popped it into Dry and it ran perfectly. But I do now have Reshade installed, and I've never played this HUD with, well, actually I did once. I tried to go back to it. I thought, I'm bored, I'll try and get back into my Veronaville HUD, forget trying to redo my downloads folder for a bit, let me just have some fun. And it just went pink and crashed very shortly into it, and then I just was like, forget it. So I am a bit worried that that's going to happen in this video, especially because we are covered in snow. But anyway, so this kind of setup is largely old. I haven't like been updating this folder. None of the mods I've shown you in the last 2 years are in this, other than these a few ones I wanted to look at in this HUD, because I have some established businesses that I know well, I know how they work, and could see how they would work differently with these mods. So that's why we're here. I'm not going to, you know, do a whole big introduction. All you need to know is that this is Bianca Monte as an elder. She married Tybalt Cap, who is an elder. I find it hilarious that he's bald. I didn't choose that hair. He had a nice custom hair as an adult, and then it just obviously didn't have an elder state linked. So then this is just the hair he aged up with, and I just loved that. I thought it was so funny and very fitting. And they have one teenage son called Philip. And this is their house. I'm not going to go over it. I will just give you a brief look. I thought they'd have a big family, these guys. They had the room for it, but they only had the one son. It wasn't high up in their priority list. But I'm here because Beatrice actually owns 2 businesses, but we're just going to go to the one for now. We're going to go to her restaurant, and then we are going to go to Juliet Cap's bakery, because I wanted to look at the mods in a familiar kind of scenario. Okay, we're here at Bianca's restaurant. I believe it was actually Kitate that mostly built this lot as part of her Europa HUD project. I just tweaked it a little bit. I'd usually come here at night, but we're on for breakfast today. So there's a few mods, mostly by Addict, and that is quite a few mods relating to business. So now we have this object. I've just newly placed this here, which is a restaurant controller. So you can do a few things. You can view menu, which I think just kind of is a bit of fun and gets you cuisine hobby enthusiasm. We can toggle this eat or go home. Let me actually call in my employees first before we carry on. And we can open up. But I'd like to toggle this eat or go home, which means Sims who actually aren't hungry and therefore have no business being here will just leave the lot instead of like hogging that slot that someone else come here. You can change the object model. So there's a smaller version, that's also nice. Oh, I could have just made it one of these plants, that's handy. Quite a few plants, a fruit ball. These are some good models, but I'll leave it at that one. We can also just like toggle whether pets are allowed or not. I guess pets just not come if nobody actually brings a pet. And you can also set a time that the kitchen will close. So I guess there's times where you want to, you know, stop serving food, but you want to let people wrap up the meal and stuff before you actually leave. You might want to do some cleaning up, restocking if it's like a multi-purpose business. So let's try that out. What should we set it to? 10 AM now. 4 PM? That doesn't give us a right lot of time, but hopefully it'll be enough. Try that for now. You can also actually do like just close the kitchen on the podiums. So the podiums have been updated along with a load of custom ones, which is very handy. And then I think everything else is pretty standard. So we've got Marla Sharp here coming as a customer. What else was there? We've also got this better food business mod in, which means you can actually kind of underpay staff, which sounds like was actually meant to work. So you're supposed to be able to underpay staff if you get on really well, if the employee and the boss have a high relationship. This mod just halves that requirements of the relationship, but only in food. How does it know? I don't know how it knows. That's interesting. Customers will arrive on the lot hungry and therefore more likely to go and order something, which is amazing. And you get more Sims appearing at your restaurant per business rank. Will this interfere with this? I can't remember what this does. No, it doesn't. I don't think I really ever use that. I just use it as an instant call employees in without actually having to faff about with this sign. I think that's about all I use that item for, so that shouldn't get in the way. And they close the kitchen mod and a staff room controller. So I do have it on this lot, but we might be better looking at it in the next one because there isn't really a staff room here. But it sounds like it will make staff that are on a break behave better, and we'll try to get them to do something useful in terms of making them feel better rather than just standing around complaining, I think is the idea. I think it tries to get them to the room, so the idea is you've got like a setup of things to help the motives in one, which we don't really have on this lot, to be fair. So it might not be the best solution here, but we've got it in anyway. And we've got a warning if Sims are about to quit, which I don't know if we'll see. I swear I've got something that, yeah, I use this, you see. This ensures that Sims are always fairly paid. I guess I'll just turn off this fairly paid thing, and then that shouldn't, they don't seem to conflict or anything. So I swear I did call employers in, right? So all the employees should come. Hopefully I've not just like duplicated them. And let's see if it makes Marla selectable now. Yes, she's proper hungry. That's brilliant. I don't think she's like dangerously hungry. She should just get straight on with coming to eat. So let me, yeah, I have this formal wear controller. So it's like a posh restaurant. Everyone just comes in their formal wear. Let me have wear a uniform and be the hostess. I actually can't remember what she usually does. Is she usually the chef? No, I told you to wear your uniform, please, first. Wear your uniform. Okay, here we've got Joe Wheeler, who's a townie, and he's the waiter. So why are you going upstairs? Aren't you hungry? What are you looking for? We've got one of Bianca's adopted daughters playing a prank on the poor waiter. Oh, she works here. What do you do? I don't remember this. When did I hire you? Oh, I think she's the host. Okay, my bad. Bianca's the cook. Okay. Okay, no, I'm with it now. I realise Paige is like spelt wrong, but I think it's meant to be like a Shakespeare reference to the role of a page or something. There was reason to it at the time, okay? So I am seeing people making a beeline for the upstairs still. But they soon realise that all they can do is eat. Okay, cool. Oh my god. No pink or anything, just straight up into a crash. I swear this is worse than it ever was. I blame reshade, but I really think reshade just makes things go pink first, not straight into a crash. So I don't know, I'm gonna blame Windows instead. So I'll try to get back to where we were, I guess. God's sake. We're about where we were ish. I have updated my graphics driver. I've also told off reshade before loading a lot. It's still installed and running in the background, so I feel like if it was that, this wouldn't really help that much. But just in case, and yeah, just sorry, it's not not as pretty anymore, not as vibrant. And also because it like saves right before the sim leaves the lot, the snow had actually just melted at that point, so my game's also not seeing any snow this time around, so I'm hoping that will help get us through. But who knows? I've set the kitchen close hour to, or did I say it to 2 p.m? No, it's set to 2 p.m. Oh, and I want the Eat or Go Home to be on. Just toggle that on for me before you continue cooking, please, Bianca. Why do I always call her Bianca? She's dead. Beatrice. Eat or Go Home is on, so we shouldn't see loiterers. Continue being the chef. Who have we got here? We've got Mercutio dining with Emily Lee, which is a little bit strange. They're friends, I guess. I feel like Emily's the closest to Chaz Whitler. Miranda also just feels like they'll check it out upstairs first. Don't know why it is that they want to walk upstairs before coming down to the podium. A lot of townies. I've only ever like aged them up in this hood. I've not really done much with them. I've tried to progress their ages along. So these guys have just finished, so they should probably leave right away. Ariel's here, just standing there for now. So we haven't got long. I thought about just using this to close the kitchen. In fact, I don't know whether to try doing it manually or let it just take on the time. I'm going to see what happens if we do it manually. So if we could just decide to close the kitchen now. And we have this little sign to indicate that it's closed. So no one's going to try to be seated. So you can start wrapping up and things. I'd hope that that means people are going to clear off because they can't eat. I think this would be very helpful on the way I have been playing the next slot we're going to go to. But thanks to TDX other mods, I don't think even the restaurant portion would be needed at all. But yeah, as you can imagine, that just gives you a bit of time between closing the kitchen and closing the business. If you want to, you know, customers to keep doing other things while you wrap some other stuff up. And people get to finish their meal. They're not just kicked off the lot when they've not even taken a bite. So I do like that. They're all trying to get in here for some reason, which is a bit annoying. I didn't bother with the staff room. We'll try and look at that on the next lot. So I think let's move on. I guess we can... What is this? Kitchen closed? What does that mean? The kitchen is closed for now. Maybe there's something else to do around here. That's so cute. But you can open it back up, which is handy. And then things will work as normal. So you can just toggle it on and off as and when you want. So I'll save it here in case I think of anything else. But otherwise, we will go to our bakery. Okay, that was weird. I must have double-clicked the recording button with my failing mouse because I just recorded about a millisecond of content. So I'll just repeat that. We're here at the Monty Ranch that I rebuilt from scratch. The last lot was the Cat Manor, but rebuilt from scratch. This is Julia and Romeo as elders. It seems that I have already decided to go and play the bakery before. This is very unlike me. Usually it's just like 6 a.m. in the morning on a set day where I leave it, but I think as I was trying to kind of regain my interest, I just kind of dabbled randomly in a few houses to kind of feel alive again. So I'll see if I can get it back by forcing off-world errors on with the bat box in a moment. But yeah, this is Romeo. He's a self-employed artist, and they have two daughters, Angelica. She must have brought Angelica with her to the bakery to help out. It's a Monday, but it's actually New Year's Day in my game, which is a paid holiday and with no school. So she, you know, the kids were off the day, so I guess they went together. And they also have another daughter called Cassandra. And I will just leave the house here for a moment in case you want to take a closer look. And I will try and get them back with the bat box. That is a bat box, right? Oh, I'd already done that. Whoops. We've got to. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to turn cheats off because I have testing cheats in my user startup. It's on all the time, but with what I'm about to do, if you don't turn it off first, you'll get like 100 pop-ups to click off. Your hands will be very sore. So I'm going to force errors on the off-world, and that should bring them back. Here they are. So there you go. Tips for the community time project. It dumped them here. Okay, yeah, that's just a tip for the community time project, but you don't actually want them off the lot. Just force off-world errors, and they will appear. The cheats back on, and I'm just gonna max my motives. I'm not actually saving this, guys. We're just trying things, and I shall send Julia alone, I think, to her bakery. I guess I'll give you a little closer look at her. oldie Juliet and her daughter Angelica. They also have a dog and a chicken coop, which is an old version of a Sun and Moon mod. And from the looks of the newer mod, I still prefer how this one works. So, and unfortunately, you can't officially get it anymore. But Juliet sells and uses the eggs for her bakery. So I'd usually have her collect the eggs before she goes, and then either sell it or stock it to bake with. And also makes servings to sell there. But looks like we are well stocked. So we're here at Juliet's. I actually built this from scratch myself. I'm very proud of it. I put a lot of love and effort into this lot, and let me tell you, it has been very frustrating to run. I bit off a lot with this lot, but it's been fun, and that's the main thing. So how it currently works is that the downstairs front is a shop where we have some both plates of desserts that Sims can buy and take home and put in their fridge, as well as some stockable foods. So some what are essentially ingredients Sims would store as fresh food points in the fridge, and that's how the eggs work too. Very expensive eggs, but it looks like you get a lot of eggs. I love this. This has been the seasonal display rack. So these are Christmas cakes because it was just Christmas in my game. In real life, how things sync up. Unfortunately, it's not spring though, actually, is it? But anyway, we have a kitchen cum staff room. There are actually quite a lot more amenities here with a nice comfortable sofa and books and a TV and a coffee machine. Oh my god, I love this lot so much. I made this recolor of the walls myself, especially for this lot, as well as this table recolor. I wanted the legs to be pink, so I made them pink. Looking at it, I think the pink is a little bit grey in the wall, hey, but we didn't want it to be too clashy. So yeah, and otherwise just a large cooking area. There's also a little desk, which is helpful too. We can slow down the speed here because sometimes things are a bit overwhelming. It's hard to get everything done in a day. And a place to eat. So again, I'll turn off fairly paid to see if we get anyone's dropping, but I'm not gonna strive to look at that. I think the mod page will be self-explanatory if we don't get to see it here. But then upstairs we had a restaurant, which I loved the idea of. Obviously the menu is set to just be like sweet things, cakes and stuff. But barely anyone ever uses it. Which is really annoying. Oh, this is another thing I wanted to look at, which is a default replacement for the Espresso machine, the community one. So now it just makes it like invisible and floating, but if I can find it. Found it. Wow, that took me way too long to find. It was literally in the category with the espresso machine. But here it is. It comes with a decorative counter. There. And this is cloned from the simple counters. We were looking at some stuff that was like that last time. The base of it is cloned from the nooks and niches, and I only have the master file, so I don't have any recolors for that. So unfortunately it's got to be ugly brick for now, but at least we can have a nice top that does go. So if you like that default replacement, that's by More Popcorn. And I also wanted to look at something that can optionally be a default replacement, but I didn't want to completely wreck everything with things being delicately balanced on top of here. But she also has... I cannot find anything. Found it. Oh my god. Again, like right next to the decor. Ah, oh, I see. So the cafe mod, which we're about to look at, actually comes with a custom version of the fridge thingy-majiggies. So they're the custom half-size ones I use. Okay, well, More Popcorn has also made a custom, but also optionally default for the normal decor chills, but also has a version specific for the cafe mod. So I'll replace a couple of these. I mean, these are empty anyway. With these kind. And then they're the two that we will use for the functionality of the mod we shall look at now. But yeah, anyway, if you would like these as just your ordinary open for business defaults, and then that's an option, so that's why I thought I'd show you. But anyway, yes, we were up here and got sidetracked by the espresso machine because, yeah, we had a restaurant and it did not work very well. I believe now I can get rid of this entirely. And what I need to do is grab, I found it earlier, where was it? Is grab this item. Where do I have a free wall? Nowhere. The walls are very decorated in here. I guess we can swap out this menu, it's fine. Such a cute menu though. So is this, and it even has like a little shelf area and everything. So this is Addict's actual cafes mod, and it basically is a similar idea to the pay to play mod we looked at last time. So this is essentially a cafe marker. It tells the game that this lot is a cafe. I guess the mod we looked at before, the menu thing, was like a restaurant lot controller. This is a cafe one. And now this has also got a few different objects to toggle through. Again, we can toggle pets or view it, but there's this buy something or go home. So if a sim's not actually going to buy anything, either to eat or to take, they'll go home and not just linger. So that's good to have. Oh my god, why is everything going off? That's weird. That's never happened before. These cake stands are supposed to be marked as like safe food storage. I wonder why that's just happened. Guess I'll unmark them for sale and clean them all up. Apparently resume cooking's an option. But let me call in my employees automatically without having to do an interaction with that little controller there. And then we'll open the business when we've cleaned these weirdly stinky ones up. So now I think we just need to put some food in these ones, which we do have some things. We can just... they look a bit too close together. Some of these are custom, a lot of them are custom actually, so I wonder how well they'll work. Okay, so we have some things in this one, and I don't think we want to set them for sale. That should mean that sometimes people will buy them and just eat them and go upstairs, hopefully. See, she's a server, so we should actually technically be able to get rid of her. Yeah, literally she's just like, I'm just chilling then, because we don't have a thing anymore. So this should require less staff. Let me send her home. Mind you, Julia actually usually is spread a bit thin with cooking and restocking. I guess we don't have to do much cooking today. Isn't she also a star? Oh, she used to be, I think. Why isn't she anymore? I don't remember anything I did. We're just chatting apparently. Let's not chat because he's going to... What? Why is that in your way of going home? Have I put them the wrong way? No. Why is it in the way? What's going on? Try that. Why is it in the way? Oh, that worked. Okay. Right, but they're probably going to sit outside, aren't they? Because that's closer. Which is a bit of an issue. I wish there was some logic around whether to sit out or not. And they're sitting together even though I'm pretty sure they don't know each other. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they never knew each other, so it's a bit strange that they're sat together. 2 interactions to eat. Yeah, she's still classed as working here. Oh yeah, because they're a manager. I literally, this took a lot of staff, this. Maybe if I... Yeah, because she was the hostess, so I shouldn't need her either. I could have someone restocking, I guess, but I'm also just going to send her... I'm going to demote her. I don't think I need 2 managers, do I really? Yeah, she didn't like that. How are we doing with the payment thing? They're still fairly paid. Can I maybe just knock her down? Bait her into quitting? And see if we get the warning about it. It's just like, look, I don't really need you anymore. So she's got another piece. Did you really need another piece? Wow. Yeah, take a screenshot of that. I'm gonna have some very fat Sims if they do this. Eat. They seem to get pushed to eat all the time. I also wanted to put in that brake controller, didn't I? Let's see if we can ever do something with that. Wow, she's getting really mad about being paid. You never cleaned up that cheesecake. Oh, it was a prank call. Okay, let's clean this up. And then, speaking of being on the phone and people being at a loose end, I also wanted to look at another mod. Oh, someone needs help. Valeria. This is the one I was talking about with the wedding that pushed me off the edge, honestly. I also want to try this. I'm going to save it because I feel like we're going to get a crash. I don't know why one was in the way of the other before, but they seem to be working like that. I don't know what that was about. I didn't actually install the mod I'm thinking about. We'll come back to it. It seems like plenty of people are choosing the option to eat. I just wish they would be eating upstairs. It is winter after all. The outside seating was more decorative than anything. What are you thinking of? Oh, you're actually gonna get a coffee. That's rare. Oh, I don't actually have anyone on there. That's a thought. Lots of people. It is rank 10, and that was something else Better Food Business Mod did. Buying the food to take home still seems preferred. I don't think I mind that. Charles Howard. What are you trying to buy, Charles? The Alaska? Is it this one that was causing the problems earlier? I don't know why. Did that guy get his coffee? Oh, someone's actually coming upstairs. Nice. Because there's plates. Okay. Yeah, you can have someone's job to be cleaning up. That's fair. I guess this is a bit of an unusual layout, you know. I could actually technically put the displays up here. Thinking about it, couldn't I? But then would anyone go up there? I'll just try putting up one up here now. Seems like they're both getting used. Even this is a custom one. And that is. Let's try put that there and see if anyone ventures to it. Maybe there. She's proper hungry. Valeria, why don't you go eat then? Does this also make everyone hungry when they get here then? Yeah. Oh, someone else had You're not buying anything, something or going home. Who told you you could go? Got some cash flow. It struggles this business, you know. Mind you, not restocked a thing. I've not really been actively trying that hard though with the sales and stuff. And obviously not running the restaurant portion. You'd have more time to do that. Oh, I'm getting pink. The water's gone pink. I'll consider that my warning sign. I just wanted to see if anyone would actually go upstairs. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is big, like, get going. He's going upstairs. Are you gonna eat something? I just wanted... Oh yeah, okay, yeah, they'll go upstairs to eat. That's good. Julia decided to clean up. That's good. I'm gonna accept this unfortunate warning sign and quit. I might actually just hop back on this lot to just take a quick look at that other mod I was thinking of, because otherwise I don't know when we could. It kind of is also business related, but I do think that's everything by T. Addict, thank you very much for all your work, T. So yeah, this is the actual cafes mod, which I believe we've seen the elements of. It also updated a custom Decra Chill, which was nice. There's an important note about food default replacements, but otherwise it seems fairly straightforward. And this was quite like a compilation of mods. So we saw the restaurant lock controller, we saw the better food business. So again, how does it know it's a food business? Maybe because when I started I had the podium on. I'd really like to know how it knows it's a food business, because it still seems like people are arriving hungry. I'm not sure if that's in it. Maybe it's a part of this mod as well. Did it say that? Yeah, I think this is outdated information, because eat or go home, it's not that in the cafes mod anymore. It's buy something in some kind of way or go home. But I don't think this is necessarily supposed to make everyone hungry when they get here. So I wonder how it knows it's a food business. We saw close the kitchen. This staff break room. Maybe I could try a look at that when we come back as well. I'm not going to play through the pink anymore though. It might be difficult to look at that. We've not seen a warning about quitting. But I think that's fairly self-explanatory. So when they're sort of ready to quit, instead of just immediately doing so, there'll be a warning to actually give you a chance to fix the wages before they immediately quit. So that's good. And also there's a mod that enables showering on business lots, so customers can shower at a known gym, for example, instead of leaving because they have low hygiene, which is great. Never had a known gym, but I'm sure it would be great if you do. Alright, we're back. I'm back in time a little bit. So I've just put this in my downloads folder, which I want to look at, which is a very old mod. And it's like a call table, so it's like a restaurant podium, but it's not for restaurants. And unfortunately, this is the default color. It's awful. But it does have one somewhat reasonable one. I do wish it had better ones. But I'll just place it there because I wanted to look at it. Wow, why does that look like that? I wish that was just normal paper. I would really love someone to make this mod look better. But anyway, I discovered this mod through one of Simulation Princess's mod videos where she did a tour of her like media lot, like a film studio, and she had someone on reception use this item, and a complaint was that the charisma skill just gains crazy fast. So I had a little look and let her know how to tune it herself in SimPE, and then she has released this as an updated version, making it more available because it was quite hard to find. I don't think it was by Sim Wardrobe actually. It was quite an obscure one. But anyway, unfortunately you can't assign someone to work at it. You can only do it yourself. I was going to get Brenda to do it. Can I just make a select one? And that will gain charisma skill, kind of keep them busy, and it will occasionally... I didn't ask you to come into it, love. What do you mean? But she should just gain charisma at a reasonable amount now, and occasionally get some money for the business. Just a few more things to note about this. So yeah, you don't set them for sale. You can't restock them. You'll have to do it manually, but obviously they don't go down as fast because one sim is just taken at a time. And when sims buy from them, they don't actually walk up to the cash register. They just pay for them, like poof, money at the business for them instead. So that takes a bit of a load off the queues. Might not be as realistic, I suppose, but I suppose it's fair enough. But yeah, if you imagine like you've got a reception in some kind of lot, this is a good way to keep your receptionist busy. And it does not seem like it's gaining charisma crazy fast at all, so that's a nice new edit, that. And then the last thing I was going to do, she's not too bad, but I'm going to have her take a break, and we're going to see if we can see anything to do with the brake controller thing in action. So she just went to go and look at this simoleon sign. They all love that for some reason. She's just standing there. Ooh, an object error with the cafe lot marker. It's still there at least. Oh no, Rosemary's going. It's one of Hermia's daughters. She's gone upstairs now. I thought she was supposed to be summoned to the room with the marker in. Oh, she needs a bathroom, fair enough. Oh my god, jeez. That seems a bit excessive, to be honest. Oh, and she's just back to it. She'd had a break. Thought she might have gone in to have some fun. So, it's supposed to be placed inside a designated staff room, which we've done. It will scan the sims on the lot for anyone on a break, call them every 10 minutes to come here please. If they aren't in the staff room, then push them to do something useful. You can change it from 10 minutes to whatever you like. Is that real-time minutes or game minutes? I assume game minutes. Default maxi break lasts for 60 minutes. Is that really 60 minutes already gone? Maybe it's not about fun. It's just about PE and coughing. Her energy's fine. Hunger's not great, but I mean, I guess she could have got a snack out of the fridge. I guess she needs to be mouse and she just went and did that, but did that really take an hour? She just kind of stood here for a bit, so maybe. My god, it is absolutely chaos here. I have not been manning this very well. I do think there's perhaps more customers than usual. I don't know, I do usually remember it being quite busy and packed. But anyway, I hope that gives you an idea of that. So I'm going to go back to my usual empty test folder now, and we'll look at the rest of the mods. Okay, we're with the Brokes now, and first thing I want to look at is this Toddlers Nap in Strollers mod by Addict. So it gives you these two strollers, I believe converted from The Sims 3. So obviously this is quite a nice one. This is really quite a basic one. So obviously we've got the basic one for the Brokes. These were converted previously, I imagine being just decorative. I'm not sure, I've never had them before. I think by Crisp and Kerosene, could be wrong. But Addict has made them a step further and given them some functionality. So now we can place Bo in the stroller. Maybe you could do that before. But maybe it's just the nap thing. Oh, Brandy's just decided to go hands-free. I think Lamar's don't do the saluting at the sun thing. If there's an object in your hand, it might have prevented that. Now he should nap, but obviously his energy's full, so he might not. But I think he'll just sit there quite happily. He's not gonna like kick and scream like they would in a high chair. But I just thought, you know, I've given them these chairs, say if the family's all outside, you know, enjoying some time outside in the sun, then the toddler can be brought with them. You're not going to school distant, you're lounging by the pool today. Then the toddler can just be part of that, and I guess if I make him tired, he'll nod off. Oh, there we go. Is that it? Nodding off. So he'll just sleep peacefully. Now, I'd say this would be a great way to bring toddlers to community lots, but obviously stroller needs to be there, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it'd be good, again, like with the graffiti thing, if it could be in the inventory and they get it out. Is there an actual mod that allows you to access your inventory on community lots? Because I always just use the dorm specific, whatever the real cheat is, dorm specific builds enabled, which enables the buy mode on a community lot, but you still can't access the inventory. Is there a mod that actually lets you get stuff in and out of your inventory on a community lot? I swear I've never seen it. But it'd be good if otherwise it was in your inventory and you just had an interaction like get stroller out. That way you could just, you know, get it out of your inventory once you're on a community lot. Obviously you need the toddler, puppy, kitten, riders mod to actually be able to take your toddlers to community lots. But obviously it would be lovely to be able to take them to the park, get the stroller out so they can sit there, sleep if they're tired. But yeah, I think you would need some kind of mod to be able to access your inventory, which I'm not aware of. Already have the strollers placed, which probably looks weird in most scenarios. Or like I said, it would be great if there was an interaction to get stroller out and then it just places next to where the sim is stood. That would be cool. But you know, there's some uses that where it could be used on a home lot like this. I guess especially if there's like a bigger garden, so they'd be further away from the house, you know, just have the whole family together kind of thing, an outdoor party, and your toddler can be out with them. So yeah, cool concept. So once he's awake, like with a high chair, we can hold him or let him out. So let's bring it inside. Alright, so what I've done now is made it night time and everyone tired because I want to look at this mod I'm really excited about because it was taken from my wish list, so I'm really grateful for it. And that is a lower energy rating for the cribs. So toddlers' energy won't be gained quite so fast. They're actually more likely to sleep through the night. So it's 10 p.m. They're all, you know, roughly the same amount of tired. Actually, Bo's a little bit less tired. But obviously, these guys want to get to bed. They don't really want to be disturbed. So we're going to put Bo in his crib and then send Brandy to bed, and we'll see what time he wakes up. Being, you know, really tired at the same time as everyone else. And then we'll speed on through the night and we shouldn't see him getting up at like 2 a.m. anymore. Oh, well, Brandy's up because she's having a baby bump and Bo is pretty much up now, so he's going to want to be up any moment, you know, probably just past 4 a.m. and she's too awake now to go back to sleep. So actually, you can see there that his energy gain is the same as the rest of them now, which is pretty good. Obviously, they're not coded to sleep in till 6 like Dustin will, so he should be about to wake up. But still, you're gonna In a way, maybe it's worse because now about the time they're going to actually get up and want to be let out will be about the time your Sims are actually have their energy full and won't go back to bed themselves. So there will probably be some more early starts, or if you're like me, I'll just knock the energy back down until they will actually go back to sleep most of the time. Because you can even then just fill it back up once they are asleep, and they will stay until at least 6 or whatever. If you've got a mod that makes them sleep in. I didn't like the idea of toddlers sleep through the night because I think that's just a bit too cheaty, too easy. Toddlers do wake up in the night and want to be let out, or very early in the morning, as far as I know. So I think that's a lot more realistic, but now they don't need like 4 hours of sleep for the whole time. So what's it say? Yeah, for some reason the devs decided that toddlers only need 3 hours of sleep at night, and even less if you buy the more expensive crib. Obviously this is the cheapest crib. So yeah, for years the solution to this was to use toddlers through the night, but that's pretty cheated pretty easily. So this mod instead significantly reduces the energy rating of cribs to match the in-game beds while preserving the poor sleep schedule for new parents. So the energy rating for all three cribs has been reduced from 12 to 2, 3 and 4. So the cheapest is 2 and the most expensive is 4. So for comparison, the cheap crib originally took 3.5 hours to fully refill the energy bar. This mod it takes 7.5 hours. So these are the technical. Something that I didn't realise for too long, and I think many people don't know, even people that create CC objects, is that the rating of things the catalogue displays, it's just text, right? It doesn't actually do anything. So what people might do when editing CC or making CC is just change what that says, but it doesn't do anything unless you change the values in the beacons. I think it's usually a beacon, or it might just be a beehive. I think it's a beacon. So, for example, say if you're trying to convert a really lovely lavish bed from The Sims 4, but you clone the cheapest Sims 2 bed to base it on, and then don't change these values and just change what the catalogue says to energy rating 10, that won't be the case. And more often than not, I actually find it's the other way around. Someone's actually converted a really cheap bed and made it really cheap, but the energy rating was cloned from a much better bed and it was never changed. So if you actually want your game to stay consistent, this is why, guys, I have procrastinated from rebuilding my downloads folder. I would literally check all of the actual energy ratings and change them to something that looks realistic and it's fair for the price, because CC can actually really easily break the economy and balance of the game. You think it's just like a visual thing, but it's really not. So yeah, check your CC, guys, and make sure it's actually, got the right kind of balance for you. Otherwise, look into learning how to edit them. Anyway, yeah. So these are the actual energy ratings that are set in the Beehive, and just by I imagine by looking at how displayed energy rating being 12 kind of reflected the actual value, they've kind of worked out what the new value would be. I hope that makes any kind of sense at all. I wouldn't usually actually show a mod like this in this series, because you actually do need to edit the program files for the full effect, which I wouldn't usually do. But as I said, I literally requested this mod, so thank you very much for taking it. Well, not requested it, it was on my wish list. So for consistency, for the cribs to actually say what the new energy rating is, so as you can see, this now says energy 2, this is 3 and this is 4. That needs to edit their program files, because this is in the catalogue of the actual game, rather than having to make them custom. It's how they need to be overridden. But I suppose if you really didn't care what the catalogue said, you probably wouldn't need to install the program files part, maybe. But anyway, yeah, I think that's much better. I really do. And there's tune in information if you want to tweak it. I might look into that one day. There's also another mod on this same page, which I've figured would be too difficult to show, so I'll just run you through it here. and that is easy as toddler skills. So the idea of this is to make learning the 4 toddler skills, potty, talking, walking, and nursery rhyme, it's a bit quicker, but not as quick as a smart milk. So if you find smart milk a bit overpowered, don't really like using it because it feels a bit cheaty, but you still struggle to actually get all those skills taught in the amount of time you've got, then this might be a good balance, because as you can see, it's actually just quite a small reduction. So for talking, it's usually 4 hours. With smart milk, it's all the way down to an hour and a half, but with this one, it's just 3 hours. So it's just a small, reasonable reduction. And here are the changes for nursery rhyme and walking and potty. So potty would be just 5 uses instead of 7 normally, or just 2 with the milk. So yeah, that seems fair. I think because I have, is it? No, I was about to lie. I was about to say, I think because my toddlers are toddlers for 7 days, but they're not, they're 5 days still. Max is 4 days. I don't know. Is my toddler last one the same as Max's? I think it might be. I tend to find it okay, but I will use smart milk if, they kind of have the points and are typically in a good mood. I do see it as a why not. But yeah, if you just want that middle ground, then that is a good option. But yeah, I thought like just showing training Bear would be a bit like, just take my word for it, you wouldn't really see the difference. So well, it's quite subtle. But yeah, just wanted to make you aware of that as well. I've decided that Brandy is in a very grumpy mood, having just woke up anyway because of her unborn baby, but I've decided that she's not a nice mom and is going to be annoyed at Bear for waking her up. So I want to test this improved Chastise mod. So this was originally by Midge the Tree. There's an option of it to work for toddlers too. There's an option if you just don't want it to be for toddlers. This is with, but there was an issue with it. I think the animation was very wonky. So Heathen Zimmer has improved the animation, so it doesn't look so weird. Yeah, that looks fine. So yeah, she's gonna have a go at Bear, which is gonna, yeah, and that's gonna knock their relationship a bit. I mean, if your toddler's like splashing in toilet puddles, maybe you would want to tell them off. So glad that's fixed. So next I want to look at this mod that affects coffee and hot chocolate. Let me just go over the mod page first. So it's food-like coffees and hot chocolates. So it differentiates hot chocolates and coffees more. So hot chocolate gives you more hunger, whereas coffee gives you more energy. They can be drunk again, once you place them down. It's not, that's that. So the idea is to make the consumption of coffees and hot chocolates more similar to food. So they yield hunger and energy per sip, can fatten Sims on full hunger, and can be left around and never spoil for others to take. I don't like the never spoil idea, but I do agree, like, just because you've put it down shouldn't mean you can't go back to it, like, within the hour. So yeah, I kind of wish they didn't never spoil. That's not very realistic. But anyway, coffees and hot chocolates are also different in the amount of motives they fulfill. Coffees restore more energy but are much less fulfilling. Chocolates can fill up to a quarter of the hunger bar a mug, but also impact bladder more. And there's a chance to wash the mugs afterwards, have self-deletion on community lots, which can be configured, and fast drinking if there is an interaction queued up, which seems like a good idea. Sims may grab the mugs directly while seated. Plant Sims gain water. Well, let's see. So we've got about half hunger, half bladder, and half energy. So let's go with a coffee. I'm going to have Justin play on this because we need that for something else. Let me cue something else up. Maybe teaching Beau to talk. Maybe let's get a bit of urgency going on. So let's see if she gets on with drinking it. Wow, that's going to be loud and annoying. Yeah, that was really fast. Wow, her bladder's gone down a lot. That's a pretty big boost to energy. Not huge on the hunger. Hunger's barely changed. If hot chocolate reduces bladder more, then I'd think she's washing the mug up straight away, even though I did cue something else. Let me kind of reset to middle-ish. That basically still is middle-ish, to be honest. I feel like that didn't change. Knock that back down. Let's now make some hot chocolate. Let's say she needs to get on with serving breakfast after she's had this. Maybe that'll make her drink faster. Yep, no time at all to wash it, and she still has got that interaction queued, so I guess it was, Beau losing interest. That really knocks bladder. I kind of think both of them knock bladder a bit too much. That's crazy, to be honest. But that did fill quite a lot of hunger. I do think hot chocolate does kind of fill you up a bit. It didn't do much for energy, but a bit. I think hot chocolate just makes you feel sleepy, to be honest. But I get the idea of this. Let's say Brandy gets one out, but then I stop. Oh, make her error apparently from. Okay, is that going to happen again? No, she's put it down just on the floor, unfortunately. But at least now Dustin could go and drink that. So that's just going to be left forever, I think, in a drinkable state, which is a bit strange. But oh well. At least you can just clean it up whenever. Next is another mod I'm really excited to say has been inspired from my wish list. So thank you very much, Ashton LC3, for taking these two ideas and making them come to life. This is mealtime tweaks to change the times that the meal option is. What am I saying? Basically, the times that breakfast, lunch and dinner are available to be served are a bit strange. So breakfast is from 2 a.m, lunch is it's already switches to lunch at 10:30, which was my biggest pain point. That's too early for lunch. It's still breakfast. So with the sleep in mod, where lazy sims will sleep in, some of them will literally sleep in till 10 a.m. So they'll get up and then already be making lunch. If it wasn't for work every day, I would sleep in till like 11. I don't think I'd ever wake up earlier than 11. I'm just such a night owl. I'd still have breakfast. I wouldn't just skip straight to lunch. So it's always really bothered me that the option to serve breakfast goes away at 10:30. I'd like a later breakfast and dinner at 4:30. I don't mind that so much, especially, you know, because it takes a while to prep. You kind of having food ready 4, 5 is a little bit early, kind of more like an elderly thing to do, but that's whatever. But there's 3 flavours that kind of change it. So the early bird one, breakfast is from 4 a.m, lunch is from 11 a.m, and dinner is from 4 p.m. So bear in mind this means it will be dinner from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. I do kind of think if you're up in the early hours, you know, having woken up really early or stayed up really late, then it probably maybe would be a breakfast you grab, you know, to put yourself on a bit of a small meal rather than like a full-on dinner, perhaps. So you've got this one that just pushes it on a bit, kind of meets in the middle. So breakfast from 4:30 in the morning, lunch from 11:30, which I do think is much better than 10:30, and then dinner at 5:30. Or you got a night owl version with breakfast from 6 a.m, lunch from 12 p.m, and dinner at 6 p.m. Which sounds about right as like sort of target times, but I suppose when you think of like the lower limits, then it might be different. So I think if I were to make like a tuning version, then I'd probably put breakfast as early as 2 a.m, something like that. I think 11:30 is about right for lunch, because bear in mind it's like when you're going to start preparing it. So if a sim starts preparing lunch at about 11:30, then they'll probably be eating it about 12, which, you know, is about right for like an early lunch. So I do think 11:30 is about right, and dinner probably, again, to allow for cooking time, probably 4:30. That would probably be my preference, but it's really easy to tune, so you can take this as a base and make it however you like, which is fantastic. I had always wanted to do this, but I just never got round to finding the right kind of beacon to edit. A lot of the time with Sims 2 modding, the most difficult part is finding the right resource to edit. So I'm really grateful that that's out there now. But I believe I've put this average option in the game, so let's just test it out. Alright, so where we left off, it's 8:43 a.m. obviously, not dessert, it's obviously breakfast that is available. But if I now say it to 4 a.m, then that should be, it's dinner now, see? But then the cutoff is 4:30 in this version, so I've said to 5, then it'll be breakfast. Then lunch is 11:30, so if I do 11, then it should still be breakfast. But if I go, you can have to set it on the hour, but you know, I'm sure you can imagine that 11:30 is when it ticks over. Yeah, lunch, and then dinner is 5:30 at this one. So if I do 5, yeah, it's still lunch at 5. At 6, it's dinner. So that's a really good base to tune, or you know, pick one of these flavors that suit you best if you don't fancy tuning to your own preference. Next we have this huge set of functional small appliances by Jackie93 Sims. So I'll go through them all, but I'll just have to get 2 out at a time for the counter space. But as you can see, there's quite a lot here, so let's see what we can find. We've got a cooking pot here, and that's just a coffee machine. I wonder if it is any different to Maxis ones. No, that is just like a Maxis coffee machine, which is, it looks very nice. But there's no like custom recipes on that, which honestly I think for some things like this, I think that's for the best. You know, I'm quite glad it works like that. It's just another Maxis style coffee machine, which is fantastic. So what's this one? We've got an air fryer. Okay, so let's have a look at these two. We've got the cooking pot and oh, okay, so it looks like this air fryer is actually governed by the meal time. So out of all these, it looks like only toaster pastries can be made in an air fryer. So I guess it's anything that you'd put in the oven can be done in the air fryer instead, which makes sense. So I'll change the time in a minute, but let's have a look at this, which looks like these options will be all day round. It doesn't matter what time. So you can make a soup, mushroom chowder or bean, or a main dish, pasta with meat, chicken breast with rice, or meat stew, or a diet dish, steamed vegetables, chicken breast and vegetables, or salmon and vegetables. Okay, well, let me look at the bean stew, please, Sandy. Sandy? Brandy? Aren't you supposed to be playing with this, Dustin? Just join. Whoa. Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean join Dustin? Why can just Dustin join Dustin? That's really creepy. Okay. Just keep playing. He's gonna make such a racket in the background, guys. I'm sorry, but I need him to keep playing with it for science. So Brandy has prepared this bean stew, which looks very nice. She's gonna shovel it in. I really wish she wouldn't, but she is a kind of slappy gal. I'm surprised she's doing that actually, because I don't have the personality mod that I usually do that changes the threshold to 3 instead of 2, and she's not hungry, so I'm actually quite surprised she's doing this animation for it right now. Hey, there we go, she's eating it more civilized now. It looks good. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for the double clicking that my mouse is doing. I have tried to change the window settings to increase the amount of time required for a double click to be a double click, but it clearly hasn't done it. I have just bought a new mouse, but I like this one, so I'm avoiding changing it for now. So yeah, sorry if it's just a whole mess. Let's look at a main dish then. Let's see, pasta with me. Let me see if I can sufficiently pretend that it means, you know, vegetarian meat. I mean, maybe. It doesn't look very appetizing, to be fair, but it's very dry. I thought I had my plate defaults in this, or does it just use the Axis plates anyway? Okay, so that was that. Let's have a look at a diet dish. Maybe just steamed vegetables. Maybe we'll see whether that is a full meal or look more like a side meal. Let's get a good close look. So she puts it in, drops the lid, waits. Each one costs money. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a plate full of food, but alright. So there's 9 options on that one. Let's have a look at this one now. So yeah, it's ticked over to lunch now. So what options have we got? No, Justin, don't go to school. Oh, not work. You're not going anywhere. You're just playing with this. Oh my god, did you hear that? We'll take a proper look at it later. But did you hear that Rod Humble just knocked and he didn't ring a doorbell that isn't even here? And we'll try and look at that better later because we didn't see him do it. But yeah, that is something. So what lunch options have we got? We've only got grilled cheese sandwiches, so they wouldn't be done in the oven. So what can we So that's the only lunch option we've got in the air fryer. So let's see what it looks like. And then we'll see what options we've got at dinner time on this. Right, okay, I'm going to stop this thunderstorm because what? Look at this. Look how like cinematic that is. I need a screenshot of this. This is like so Sims 2 core right here, isn't it? Oh, she's moaning that so we still need a counter free to prepare it. That makes sense. Sorry, Brandon. Let's move your pizza then. There you go. One's magically free now, so you can resume. Oh, I wonder if she'll remember to do it in the air fryer now. It got interrupted. Yep, she's gonna pop it in the air fryer instead of the oven. That's handy. That'll be good for a small space. The plates are bothering me. Do I really not have a plate default in? No, I don't think I do, so that is my bad. Sorry for the hideous Maxis plates. I do assume that it would use, you know, whatever defaults you usually have. So that's great. Let me see what options there are at dinner time. Let's do 6. Dinner, we've got pork chops and salmon out of... Yeah, I guess it is the only one that makes sense, so fair enough. Let's do some pork chops. So she just pops the tray in there. Waits for it. There we go. Wonderful. Alright, take 2 because I forgot to press record. We've also got a toaster and a waffle maker. So I do love a toaster, so let's look at the avocado toast. It's been kind of one of my go-to lunches during Veganuary. It costs 10 simoleons, doesn't take long, and there we go. Looks good, got some nuts and seeds on. But yeah, I kind of struggle to think of like what to have like a quick and easy lunch on a vegan diet, to be honest. But do like an avocado toast. It's just avocados can be so disappointing. It can be so like too hard or stringy or brown. But that's got a nice half-eaten state. So yeah, I think that's a nice, good, quick breakfast option. I think having a toast is pretty realistic. I do wish it just used the food points though. Let's just have a look at one more. Yeah, I would much rather it use the food points. And then that's Nutella toast. Simple, looks good. So let's look at the waffle maker now. We've got lots of different waffle options. I believe we've looked at pumpkin spice not too long ago on here. We've got some horrible sounding ones like chicken and cured fish. Mushrooms, yucky. These caught my eye, so let me look at these pleasantly unpleasant waffles. So she even gets a bottle of mixture batter throughout the cupboard. Probably not the best place to keep a bottle of something like that. But yeah, this is the pleasantly unpleasant waffles because they have bins on them or trash can. And the drizzle's like black, yeah. I see. Okay, and then like a fork one, nice half-eaten state. Nice. Let's look at one more. I want to see the banana split ones, please. Very nice. Right, let's see what else we have. Almost forgot to record again. What's this? We have a pizza oven. Wow. And a stand mixture. I wonder if that's the same as the food processors. Yeah, I believe that is a food processor, but that looks nice. Cool. Oh, and one we cannot afford. Let's do a kashing, and then we can afford this microwave, which I guess is like any of the other microwaves, so that's probably, yeah, that's nothing exciting, but do you know what, it's nice to have a custom microwave, and it's very expensive actually, so we don't really need that. Let's look at the pizza oven. So loads of different kinds of pizzas we can make. Well, let's go with a good old margherita. That is my favourite kind of pizza. Everything else is trying too hard. A good pizza should be the most delicious as a margherita, in my professional half-Italian opinion. And there we go. Oh my god. Oh, she's doing the, like, box animation on it. But it looks good. I like the custom plate. And then she's going to grab a slice. Oh, I'm so sorry, Brandon. Let me move this crappy pizza. You don't need takeaway pizzas anymore. Now you have a beautiful pizza oven. And then you just get a slice. And they look really good. I like that. I could definitely see some families having this. I really like a lot of these, actually. But again, I just wish they used food points. I wonder if I could probably do that. Like, edit them to do that. I think I'm going to give up with this playing with this because he's been at it a really long time. The noise is driving me mad. I'll get to why he was doing that in a bit, but I'm just gonna leave him to it. It doesn't seem to require any cooking skill points, this. Let's have a look what one of the sweet ones look like. I think that's interesting. It's very quick. I wish you didn't have to do that box animation. I feel like it could be skipped because she literally has it in her hand. But oh well. And there we go. Sweet pizza. Nice. They'd be good to get out for a party. I think that was everything. That's a mixer, air fryer, just a microwave, the pizza oven, a coffee machine, slow cooker, pressure cooker, whatever you call it, waffle maker and a toaster. So we've looked at all them. So that's excellent. You can see more of the kinds of things you could make here. So yeah, I think that's a great set. For our next mod, we're heading into SimPE because it's one we looked at last time, but it's had a pretty crucial update. So last time we looked at this culture meal on custom foods by Lamar. Well, we tried to, but I dug out some old custom foods that I used to have and found it didn't work. I was getting errors, so Lamar kindly looked into this after I reported it and found that some of the older ones just need a little tweak in SimPE and has a nice tutorial on how to do that. So we're going to do that and then hopefully see it working in game. So I've got this lasagna one that I've always liked. I feel like I'd still use this. Perhaps Jacket 93 Sims probably has a better lasagna, but you know, I do like this one, so we're going to do that. So what we need to do is open the food and go into the food's object data, the raw data tab, and change the number of objects arrays from 0 to 1. So object data, the food, not the menu. It doesn't matter what these are usually not changed because the creators just leave them whatever they cloned as. So then we go to raw data and we need to find it in here. Object arrays. Where was it? In the data space in number 9. Here. Number of arrays, we can change it to decimal. We just need to put a 1 in there. Commit, save. And that should do it, but then you can do the same for this custom serving dishware if needed, and this does have that. So let me just reopen it. Okay, so that's saved. And I'll do the same for the platter and the plate if needed, if they're the same. Object data, raw data, section 9. Number of object arrays, decimal is, needs to be a 1. Commit, save. I need the plate, food dish, decimal. Number of object arrays, 1. Commit, save, done. So now I can see that the date I've modified is all today. I've got Lamar's mod in the game, so now I'll go back in and hopefully I'll be able to call to meal on this dish without errors. Alright, so I'm going to have Brandy serve the lasagna now. And hopefully we shall be able to call Dustin to eat it. Let's see. Call to meal household. Oh, she seems to do it, but not like do it. Like, he's coming over. Can we try again, or is it? She kind of like telepathically does it, it seems now. Yeah, just like, gone, I'm eating. Well, no errors, and the option is there, and it seems to work because I did not cue Dustin to do that, and he wasn't hungry, so he wouldn't have autonomously done it. So that's good enough for me. Nice one. Now, the last thing I want to look at with this family is the reason Dustin was giving us all sensory overload, overstimulation. Well, hopefully just me. I will try and make it nice and quiet in editing. But I had him play with this for a really long time, right? He was at it for a while in the background there. I really don't know why he can join himself. That's very creepy. Because of the mod that makes these have the potential to break, and apparently Sims with the unlucky trait, which Dustin has had this entire time, are more likely to break them, but unfortunately he did not. But I've noticed we do have this debug break interaction, so I hope they can do that. And there we go, he can still join himself, which is bizarre. What actually happens if I click that? Oh, he's getting back. He's actually just gonna join himself and play it. Okay, well, now we can repair it. So it's just these have a chance to break like most other, you know, electrical appliances, which is cool. I wonder if it applies on community lots. Yeah, he fixed it, and now he can play. So by default, the chance of it breaking is 4%, but children have a slightly higher chance of breaking it. And if you have the traits version, which you don't have to have, unlucky Sims have a slightly higher chance of breaking. It doesn't say what kind of chance, but you know, we don't want it to be breaking all the time. But yeah, it's cool to know that there's a chance it can break. I just wonder if that was the culprit of him being able to join himself, or if that is just a weird Maxis thing. I don't know, but you know, I think it's a cool concept. We're with our favourite family now, and first things first, I want to properly catch Rod Humble knocking on the door. So let me get a good look at the door, and let's go. There we go, knock, 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 instead of ringing the doorbell. And that is kind of recycled from the apartments. The apartment doors have knocks instead of a doorbell. So if you just want the knock all round, then that is an option. I really wish this was enhanced by like a check on a custom doorbell, which would be just decorative, but it'd be like, if there is that object, then they'll ring the doorbell, and if there isn't, they'll knock. I think that would be pinnacle. But you know, it's cool to have the option all round if you prefer that. But anyway, he is out the way, so we can carry on with less disturbances now. Okay, I've now got a toy working bench and a robot making bench, and I've given Cassandra the eccentric trait. She does not have any badges, but with this mod, since she has the eccentric trait, she can now just make everything anyway. I'm not keen on that personally. So Mortimer doesn't have the trait, so without talent badges, he can still only make one. But Cassandra could make anything, even without a talent badge. That's far too much for me. I think what makes most sense is for Eccentric Sims to be able to build that badge faster, but I believe there's already a mod for that by FY. I would think so. It also, though, makes it Eccentric Sims will have less motive drain from working with robots only, which I like that part of it. I think that makes sense. She won't suffer as much while making robots. I guess we could give that a quick test, I suppose. So if I didn't mean to put it there. If I just give Mortimer, let's say Mortimer has a gold badge, and if I make them each make a servo now from max motives, we should see Sandra's needs go down. What? Because Sandra just made one immediately, apparently. Okay, don't like that at all. I don't see any mention of that, so I feel like that's not supposed to happen. But that's what did just happen. So, moving on. Okay, so I've had Mortimer plant a patch of tomatoes now, and he has the green thumb trait, and with this mod, he is now able to talk to plants, just like Sims with
Benigua!
the golden talent badge or
I'm Mitos!
plant Sims,
Shook Bebedus!
which
You
I
see
think
the
that might be fair, but it's quite strong.
Oh,
So,
yes,
but I think it's fair. Right, so he's just spent a really long time at that, but they are now all thriving. Let me see if I can make them all harvestable now. Come on. Okay, great. They're all harvestable, all thriving. Let's get some light in here. The ghosts are probably going to stick around now, aren't they? Right. Get everyone out. Now, there's another trait wants to do with plants that I want to look at, and that is harvesting yield by traits. So, green thumbs will harvest 5% more produce by default, and gatherers will harvest 10% more. And you can tweak it however you like, but that's the default. So, Alex is a gatherer, Mortimer is a green thumb, and Cassandra is nothing relevant to this. So, let's have a pick off. So, let's have Mortimer harvest this one, Cassandra harvest this one, and Alex harvest this one, and let's see what we get. How wholesome is this? Okay, so they're all finished. Let's see what we've got. Alex has picked 12 tomatoes. Oh, Mortimer has picked 14. And Cassandra's picked 10. So it seems like Mortimer is able to harvest more than Alex, which is surprising, but maybe there's just a variation in it anyway. It could be an age thing, but I don't think so. And he doesn't have any talent badges, so it's not that. Well, I gave him the robot one, but not the gardening one. Let's try again. Let's repeat the test. Yeah, so look, the plant takes ages to update, which is strange. So that must be a Maxis thing. Okay, we're done. Let's see. So Mortimer had 14, so he's doubled it. He now has 28. Alex had 12 and he's doubled it. He now has 24. Cassandra has doubled it. She now has 20. So it seems like green thumbs actually harvest more than gatherers. Maybe the description's just written the wrong way around or something. To be honest, I think that's fair. I think it makes sense, and I don't see a problem being that way around. But we can definitely see there's some kind of effect going on. So that's cool. Right, next, I have just summoned John Beer because I want to try with someone that they don't know. So I want to look at a edit of the Self-Harm Inventory mod that Addict has made. So if someone John Burb, they don't know him. So let me see if I can do this, or it's going to be like, no, I don't know you. So here we can set a markup. So I wonder if that's determined by, shall we see if we can get away with the markup? There's 10% markup, okay. Then let's sell him just 3 tomatoes. I don't know how much a value of each is actually. But he's agreeing. Oh, he's actually getting his money out, and there we go. How much? 55. So, how much is a tomato worth? 17. Right, okay. Calculator needed. 17 times 1.1 is 18.7 times 3. 56.1. Okay, so with a bit of rounding, 55, yeah, that's about right. Cool. I like that. Let me just read the description. So, by the way, also I want to point out that this post has 2, and I'm only looking at one in game, but I do want to show you this as well. So Addict has also edited the visitor controller to include some traits, but particularly with a focus on medieval traits. So that's why I've kind of avoided it, because it's pretty niche, but I can really envision the use if you do have these medieval traits. So you know, if you've got a very posh area, you might want to ban the peasants and the servants from them. Fair enough. And some other medieval traits. So if you've got like a library, you'd probably want to ban the illiterate traits. And then there's a couple of just normal traits in here, but not many, because I do get the idea that probably not many is really significant enough to be like, oh, they definitely wouldn't come here. I guess I could think of a few more uses. But yeah, but that's cool. So especially if you have a medieval setup, that is very cool. You can control who shows up where based on those kind of traits. And then here is the edit of the self inventory mod. So the original mod had the fridge menu as a price picker. So you'd set how much you actually want to charge, but then obviously that means you've got to work out, like find out, like as I forgot to, look how much the value actually is, and then how much you actually want more to get from it. So now that's changed. So now you get the pop-up of whether you want a markup. So if you still go totaling over 1,800 worth and apply a markup, the calculations will go slightly wonky and won't be exact. That's due to a SMP limitation. Fair enough, I suppose. I mean, the ones we've just done wasn't exactly exact, but I feel like it was good enough. Decimals get rounded down to whole numbers, but yeah, it was 56.1, we did 55, but still, that's fair. There isn't actually anything about the accepting, but the original mod comes with like a tuning for, yeah, this one. What determines if the gift selling from inventory should be rejected or accepted, and change the minimum threshold for neutral accept reaction as low as possible. So that's why it's slightly accepted, but it seems like the markup doesn't actually affect how likely they are to accept, which I think is actually a bit of a shame. Obviously, this is a really cool overhaul, so I don't mean to complain, but I do think it would be cool if... So how much more can we go? Oh my god. Oh my god, you can just keep going. Okay, that's like 120% then. 3 tomatoes again.
Kemo so kamalito.
Zabjoza. Nu tamefa. Eteshun.
Yeah, it's doing it. 110. How much did I say it was worth? 17. 17 times. Is that 1.12? No. 20.4, that doesn't sound right. 100% is doubled, isn't it? If you mark something up by 100%, that's doubling. Is it not? I think I'm just wrong. I'm just working things out right. So what did I do before? 10%. Oh, I see. No, I'm wrong. So that would have been 17 add 1.7 times 3. No, 56.1. I was doing it right. But then I just did 17 times 1.1. Gets you the same number. I'm so confused. I think I maybe just like looking it up wrong because it was like 100 and something. I'd have thought it'd been double on another 20. Yeah, so if I then did 17 times 2, add 20%, which is 3.4, times by 3, that's 112.2. Now, I've already forgotten what it was that John gave us. I think it was 110. So, yeah, that is about what it is. I was thinking right. I don't know why Google wasn't. It was just like, no, it's just like not double. I don't know. Cool. But yeah, I just wish that relationship or charisma or something would determine the chance of accepting the markup. And I guess if the relationship was negative, then they wouldn't even accept just the base. Like, you have to at least be neutral to get the base. And then if you've got a negative relationship, that's why you would have to offer less. And then otherwise, how much more markup you could get away with would to be dependent on factors such as relationship, charisma, traits even. So yeah, I would love to see this develop further, but I do think that is a much more handy way of doing it than the stupid fridge menu and having to work it out what the markups would be yourself. You could implement your own rules of like how much markup they can get away with, maybe even roll a dice how much they're going to be willing to accept, things like that. But yeah, it would be really cool to see this taken even further. It's really cool. Next, we're taking a look at this microscope again. It has kind of been fixed and improved from last time, so there is actually an interaction now to look through it. Mortimer, he does have very high logic skill, doesn't he? But Cassandra should still be able to, even though she doesn't. And he's not currently a genius. So geniuses learn the logic skill faster. Children can use it. If the science hobby is sufficiently high, the pie menu option to changes from look through to study specimens. So if we now give him hobby enthusiasm in science, I think 6 is the requirement. It now says study specimens. So that's just a cool little name change. It's not supposed to functionally make it different. But let's make Alec a little genius now. He can now look through, which wasn't possible before, and he should gain logic skill quickly, but hopefully not like absurdly quickly. You do seem a little bit far away from it there, if I'm being honest, Alex. Yeah, this seems pretty quick, but I wouldn't say absurdly so. It is his first logic skill, so you would expect it to be quite quick. If I have Mortimer do it, you'll see that the animation... I mean, yeah, his eyes actually go to the eye things. So... I don't know how I feel about children being able to do it, to be honest. I feel like if they sat on a stack of books or something like they did for the chess, that would be better, but that's probably like impossible. Because the like leaning forward thing then wouldn't be the animation based on that. So I don't know. It would be cool to have these in schools, I guess, but I don't know how I feel about the animation. But yeah, it's good to see that with improved functionality like that and all working. We also have these typewriters with improved functionality. So now, I think these were just decorative before, but they now have the functionality to be able to write a novel on them. But the thing is, they still use all the animations and stuff of a computer. So I wonder if you had the mod that makes like technophobes not like computers, and this would still apply for these, because they are like basically a computer with just the stripped interactions other than this one. So I don't know, but it, you know, it is cool to have, you know, if you have a historic kind of thing going on, you've got an option of being able to write novels without actually having an actual computer. It is a computer, I think, actually, but as far as the game's concerned, but to you at least, it doesn't look like a computer. Oh, you can also write restaurant guides with it as well if you have the what is it, the pleasure sim aspiration reward, or a traits mod that unlocks that for whatever it is. Next, I want to look at this hire a repairman from a newspaper. So now we can click on the newspaper to hire a repairman instead of having to use phone. Again, if you're, you know, you have a historic save with no electricity, don't have phones, you can now hire one from the newspaper. I think, like the mod page says, it would be very cool if they went to like post something in the letterbox, but I think it's fair enough if you just have some kind of save without phones and don't want to, and just want a means of being able to hire a repairman. So yeah. Alright, finally, I nearly grew old waiting for Fireflies to show up. I had to go and put a mod in to increase the chances of them showing up. Because we have a default replacement for them by Vegan Cactus, they've made them a more kind of glowy orangey yellow colour than the turquoisey colour. And then optionally, when you catch them now, you can have this lid be brown instead of red, if you prefer. I don't mind the red, but if you think the brown looks better, then you can get that. There's two different versions, but I do like this change to the fireflies. I think they look really pretty. I didn't realise it was so difficult. I thought they always got some. Oh my god! Catch them! There we go. That's what they're like in the jar. And then I think they emit more of a glow now? perhaps it is really glowy. And that is aesthetic, to be fair. So let's put it in here. Turn all the lights off. Get it inside a dark room. And there we go. It emits more of a glow now. Very nice. We're with Don now, and the first one I want to look at is a default replacement for the handheld game, which I have given him. To make it look like a Nintendo DS. This is the most nostalgic handheld game to me. So this looks like it's meant to be like a Sims game, but it is recolorable with several options. So the color is tied to the screen, similar to the ones I did for the Cactus's Nintendo Switch default replacement. I think in theory I would prefer this, but I'd probably stick with the Switch just because Lord Crump's default for the kiosk needs the Switch version. So each colour of DS changes the game on the screen, so there's loads of options. I couldn't tell you what most of these games are meant to be honest. Is that Nintendogs? Cooking Mama. That's The Sims 2, I think. Nice. So yeah, that's just a nice default option I thought I'd show you. Right, have I done some setup for you guys? There is a party going on at Don's house, but before we get into everyone, I just want to have a moment with Dina to propose an idea. I want to check out this new interaction before anything wild happens. Dina doesn't like it. They have quite a good relationship, but she is not interested. I thought that would go well. Okay, let me sub in. Oh, can you stand there? Oh no, you might be trapped there. Very busy up here. Let me sub in Nina. Maybe Nina will like his idea. I think it's somewhat random, but relationship has an effect. Nina's liking it. They do have a bit of a better relationship. Yeah, she liked that, and obviously you can just kind of use your imagination of what the idea might be. It might be kind of a way you decide outcomes to test whether a sim would be into it or not. So yeah, I think that's a cool new interaction. I also want to have a look at these Halloween cocktails by Jackie93 Sims, so I'm going to serve them. There we go, and then you get 6 cocktails and you can pick which ones to drink, but you can like drink the same one multiple times. So I like this devil looking one for Dom, which is probably that one, Devil's Breath, probably. Have a look. Yep. So he's grabbed Devil's Breath and now he's going to drink that. Oh my god, where are you taking it? Oh, he's just going round. Okay. Oh, he's going to sit down. Yeah, fair enough. Don's going to enjoy that drink. So I'm going to turn autonomy on in a moment and we'll see who else goes for these drinks. But why everyone is here and there's a party going on is because there is an edit to the actual alcohol mod. I've always been interested in this mod, but it seemed just a bit too random and chaotic for my liking. But Heathen Simmer has added trait support, so only Sims with certain traits will actually do some of these interactions. So we've got a wide variety of Sims here with different traits, so I'll run you through them all. Don is inappropriate, flirty, and has commitment issues. Daniel just has commitment issues. Dina is a diva and absent-minded. Nina is dramatic. Abhijit is inappropriate. Oh no, can it stop selecting multiple people? Oh my god, why does it do this? It's so annoying. Stop it. Abhijit is excitable and a loser. No, not Melissa. Why does it do that? Why? Why? When you've like made people selectable, does it do that? It's so annoying. Amin is a party animal. Andrea is neurotic. Brandon is flirty. Goopy is inappropriate and unlucky. Jan is a hothead. Joe is a daredevil. Kennedy is evil. Kome is brave. Marissa is over-emotional. Melissa is childish. And Sandy is mean-spirited and insane. So these aren't classed as alcohol. So we should be safe with them. But I'll see who feels like going for them. And then I will have Don serve some drinks at the bar. I think I'm going to lock the doors so they can't get out. I'll turn autonomy on and wish me luck. So these drinks gained some fun. He was trying to bin it, but he can't get to the bin. Just don't worry about it, Don. It's fine. Let's just make everyone some real drinks. Oh, okay. Is Sandy gonna get a drink? Is this one in the way? Go away, drink, go away. Yeah, Brandy's getting a drink. Let's have Don have a drink as well. Sandy's in the way now. It's a bit cramped up here, isn't it? What's Sandy doing now? Let's see. Just getting another drink. Okay. She's just feeling like another one. Oh, no. Oh. She's just going to chat. Okay. Nothing crazy at the moment. We'll keep an eye on these two that have got a drink. No one seems to be fancying these ones. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to max motives and drop everyone's fun and hunger down a bit. So that should hopefully make them want drinks and party things. Or maybe social, actually. Yeah, right. Drop the social as well. Oh my god, who's trying to go to work? Nobody go to work. Oh, Don has had a drink and now he's going to go and propose an engagement to Nina. So let me check his traits again. He's inappropriate, flirty, and has commitment issues. So he is up for the proposal. Can he actually get to her? Where is Nina? Right, let's make this a bit easier. He's still having a drink. Sandy's going again. Sandy, big drinker. Oh, where are you going, Nina? No, Nina. Hey. No, don't. Oh, she wants fancies arguing with him. Are you trying to be proposed to if you don't mind? Is this just going to fail? No, you're going for it. He's trying it. She actually didn't say yeah. Oh my gosh, she's actually saying yeah. John's drunken proposal has won Nina's heart. Interested. Who's just had a drink? Abhijit, have we missed whatever you were trying to do? He's just having a joke. Sandy, what are you up to? She wants to argue with Don. She is mean-spirited and insane. So that adds up. Oh, no, Dina's mad. Anyone else gonna have a drink? Is Dina going for a drink? No, she just wants to tell a joke. Why don't you go for a drink? Why don't you have a drink as well, actually? Abhijit, go again. Goopy. Melissa's just talking to nobody. I think they do actually. I think she's talking to Nina. I think they do like talk to each other when they're drinking. Okay, no drinks left. So Don, make some more drinks, please. I don't think it matters whether they're blended or poured. And Bijou wants to tickle Don. Obviously, they don't know each other really, so that is a bit weird. Kennedy is just going for a drink. Oh, Adina's crying. Oh, I think that's just over the thing. That's not drink interaction. Melissa just wants another drink. He's having real difficulty. Oh my god, the police are coming to stop it. Oh no. It's nearly finished. Anyway, to be fair. Okay, well, that's that. Let me just take you through the mod page then. So that's pretty cool. So it just checks what traits can do what drunken interactions. So absent-minded Sims may choose silly interactions, so brag, propose, or throw up. And if they are also grouchy, they'll get into a fight. Brave Sims are checked for mood, personality, and whether they are married or steadied or not. So these Sims might propose, flirt, argue, fight, or tell a joke. But if they're in a relationship, only Brave Sims? Only Brave Sims that are in a relationship, aren't in a relationship are in a relationship and have commitment issues will try and flirt, propose. I think that means. Childish Sims will try to argue or belch in a Sim's faces if they are grouchy, and also tell jokes, flirt, or tickle Sims if they are nice. Okay, so 2 ways childish Sims could go. Commitment issues will cause Sims to propose, flirt, or kiss to someone regardless of other commitments, like we saw with Dom. So is he actually engaged to both? No, why isn't he engaged to neither? The relationship flag hasn't updated. Maybe it's because it's not supposed to be possible that you can be engaged to more than one Sim. Daredevil Sims will either fight or propose. Diva Sims will either argue or brag. Dramatic Sims will either fight, argue, propose, or kiss Sims based on their mood. Evil or mean-spirited Sims will belch in Sims' faces if they are playful, and if not, they will fight, argue, or brag. Excitable Sims will hug Sims, sing folk songs, tickle, or brag. Flirty Sims will flirt, unless they are committed. Commitment issues is the obvious exception. Hot-headed Sims will either argue or fight. Inappropriate or insane Sims will pretty much randomly choose to do most of the interactions. Loser Sims will brag, throw up, fight, or argue. Neurotic Sims will either throw up or argue. Over emotional Sims will either argue or cry, and if they have commitment issues or aren't committed, they will propose, flirt, or kiss. Party animals will sing folk songs, brag, throw up, or tell a joke. Rebellious Sims will argue, fight, or belch. And unlucky Sims will throw up or propose to a random Sim. I think propose could be tightened down a bit more than this. I did kind of want that interaction to be more rare. But, I mean, there's obviously a lot more that could happen than we've just seen, but it's giving you a little bit of an idea how all of these Sims will behave in a bit more of a unique way now, and not just any kind of Sim will do any kind of strange drunken interaction. I also wish it checked for the number of drinks that they had. I wish it took a bit longer to come into effect, so it wasn't like just as soon as you have a drink it's like you don't know what they're gonna do. It's a shame nobody went for these drinks. I'd have thought people would help themselves to stuff like that at a party, but I guess these were just more favourable. But yeah, I think it's definitely an improvement, but could be taken further. But what I also wanted to look at, I guess actually they will all stay, won't they, because they're all selectable, but I'm just going to ignore that for now. What I also wanted to look at is, because Don is inappropriate, let me actually let him finish this drink and see what he does when he's finished. So yeah, the party's actually just carrying on. To be honest, it's just not technically a party, but everyone's still here having a good time. Oh, he's singing and he wants to join in. I'm not seeing the singing. Hurry up with this drink, please, Don. Oh, now he wants to flirt with Dina based on that drink. Okay, fair enough. But what I wanted to look at is, because he's inappropriate, he should now skinny dip. I don't know if it's in a hot tub or just a pool, but we'll try it. Oh no, it's probably just a pool. Okay, so he didn't skinny dip, which is a bit of a shame. Oh my god, people are fighting. Just ignore it, Don. I'm gonna let you out of the pen. Where have you gone? Donathan? Was it you? It's you in the fight? Hello, Don? Oh no, he's here. I was looking for his purple shirt. So if he now gets in the pool, will you be naked? No, stop it! No. You are inappropriate, yes. Change into your everyday. Now get in the pool. No. What? Did I not install it? No, I definitely have it. Sims will have the inappropriate trait, as well as daredevil, party animal, and rebellious. Can now skinny dip. What, he's got to be one of these as well? I'll try that, I guess. So let's make him party animal now. No, not in the pool. It's got to be all 3. Surely not. Nope, still in his swimwear. Okay, let me try the hot tub again. And maybe it's like if other Sims aren't in it. Can I just clear everyone off? Even though they're selectable, I really can't be asked to unselect everyone. Clear off. All non-resident. Yep, no, that worked. Now if you get in. No, he's staying in his underwear. Okay, what about... Now get in. No, he's still in his underwear. Not underwear, swimwear. I don't know. Apparently, Sims who have the inappropriate trait as well as Daredevil, Play Animal, and Rebellious can now skinny dip. That doesn't seem to be working for me. Don't know why, but check it out if you want to try. Alright, time for a change of scenery now. We're in Strange Town with the Smith family. They were just a family that sprang to mind with the right kind of, variation in Sims and ages and things. To look at these next two mods by the same author, they are an extension of Lazy Duchess's height mod, which I've never used before, and that is Grow and Genetic Heights. So I think we need to look at Grow first. So I've got this controller out that comes with the height mod, which you need. I've never used it before, so I'm not sure what I'm doing. We've got this new interaction here to enable Grow, which is what we want to do. But first, I guess we'll set the height. So I guess I'll just go for randomizing the entire neighborhood. I kind of want him PT to stand up straight because we can't really get a good idea of his height while he's slouching. So if I just make him that bit more active, maybe he'll stop. Yeah, okay. Elders always way shorter than adults. Is that just a thing I've noticed? Surely not, because he's so short. She's so much taller than he is. Is this... I don't feel like that have been randomized yet. Okay, before I do anything else, I've just got to see these two kiss. Yeah, it is a little bit off. He's kind of kissing his nose, so it's not too bad. Is that just always been a thing? So why does she have less interactions? Oh, because there's like something about adult heights for teenagers, which I don't know what that means. I'm not going to worry about it because it's not really the height mod we're looking at. If I just randomise everyone with no height, I'm assuming these are going to change if I now... Oh my god, okay. Oh, Jenny's quite short now. Oh wow, so is Jill. Okay, let me get you all in a row again. Okay, so Johnny's quite tall, but the parents quite short. I feel like he shouldn't be this tall then if his parents are that short. But anyway, it doesn't... Oh my god, it's duplicated them all. Oh, okay, no, just pressing play just got rid of that. That's fine. Okay. If I now enable Grow now then, do you want to set the current heights of the toddlers, children and teens in this family to be their height when they reach adulthood? Do you want to set the current heights of the toddlers, children? Yes. I don't know what that means. What have I just done? Did that change anything? I don't know. Well, let's get my height. So Jill's quite young, so if I age her up a bit, I think this should tell us, get us to see the height, the effect of this mod. So she is like really short. She doesn't look weird though, I don't think. Perhaps let me just try an interaction now. Maybe if we swing around or something. So they're gonna go outside to swing around. Yeah, there's a bit of a gap, look. Which, to me, is a bit off-putting, I suppose. It depends. I feel like with this kind of thing, you kind of have to choose what your preference is, like well lined up animations or various heights. And I think, personally, the animations matter more to me because I feel like a lot of love and care went into them in this game, so it seems kind of a shame. Okay, right, stop that. So now if I age Jill up a bit, make her 3 days older, and then I guess refresh me. Are you taller? I don't know, are you? Are you taller? You still look pretty short to me. I just aged her up 3 days. Update height by age, what does that mean? And maybe it was that. Oh yeah, she's way taller now. Okay, every night between 2 AM and 3 AM, the game will update the heights of every toddler, child, and teen according to their age. When you save and reload the lot to see the changes, or do you think you can just like refresh on the controller? Anyone who is about to age up will also need their height updated in preparation. The mod will automatically do this at some point between 5 and 6 p.m. when a sim is about to age up, but if you prefer to save a sim up before the game forces you, or a sim is heading off to college, you will need to select Prepare My Height for age transition. So let's do that for Johnny then. Prepare My Height for age transition, and then age up now. Okay, he seems quite tall. Yeah, he's mega tall. So he's tall. His parents are quite short, but I believe the next nod only applies to. This is from what I can tell. I mean, it's a bit confusing because the literal preview shows pre-made sims, but as far as I can tell, it's only for like new children. There doesn't seem to be an option on the controller to like get genetic height, like based on the parents that for existing sims. So I guess what I'll do now is I'll have these two make a baby. Okay, so I had to age down a day, but we've got a baby. It includes the baby last name chooser, otherwise it wouldn't have been compatible, so that's good. In this case, it doesn't matter. They're both Smith. But yeah, so you get both mods in one, essentially, so that's good. I guess we'll call him Jack. Keep the J thing going. There we go. Jack Smith. So now he should have like a genetic height, which I guess we won't see at this age. I'm just gonna age him up. Okay, I said age him up and she just passed him. Okay, I feel like this is so difficult to age babies sometimes. Why are you just passing him? Aging, what are you doing? Let's try a new cake, I guess. Oh, we can use this cake again, somehow. Oh, you're not holding him. Sorry. My bad. Okay, here we go, hopefully. Right, okay. We've got Baby Jack with an afro. I think it's going to be really hard to see a height on a toddler. Kind of like she knowing teaching to walk. I guess I'll do it legitly then so we can see him standing up. Okay, so got to press record again, but since it ticked over to 6, I just wondered if the one day would have had an effect on Jill, and he updated it, and it looks like, yeah, she might be even a little bit more taller. I'm realising our still doesn't make toddlers stand up, obviously, just because he can walk now. And I think it's going to be really hard to see in the toddlers. I'll try making him a few days older. Yeah, I think he looks a bit taller now, right? I think the best thing to do, though, is now age him to a child. Oh, wow, he's a tall boy. Why? His parents are so short. Is it because he's an alien? Was this a terrible example? He's taller than his older sister. Or the same height, more like. But his parents are short now. Okay, let me try aging 3 days now. Oh no, that means shorter. I think yeah, he was supposed to be shorter. It just didn't update properly when he first. Oh, because I didn't do the prepare height for age up. That's why he was tall. So he must have been the average height of a child. Why? Really? She looks tall. But it seems like this is roughly the average height of a child. Let me get my height. I don't know who's it. 85. 200. Right, so Jill is the tallest a child can be. 3 days older. Yeah, and then he is taller, but still not quite as tall. Now let me try aging them both to teenagers at the same time. Oh my god, I pressed Jenny. Oh my god. Oh my god, look how short she is. I didn't do the prepare high for age up. That's not what I meant to do, Jenny. I'm very sorry. I meant to press Jill. But I guess if I now... Wow, yeah, Jenny's crazy short. Look at those legs. My goodness. Okay. Right. Well, interesting. Let me get Jenny back to an adult and let me get Jill. Let's prepare height for age transition. Then age to a teenager. Oh my god, what am I doing to Jenny? What is happening to you? Why is her face blue? Look how short Jill is. Okay, there we go. He's short again. So if you don't do it, they'll randomly be tall. But yeah, now they're all quite like a short family. I don't know what's happened to Jenny's face. Last thing, I will make Jill a bit older, and hopefully we can see the difference between her and her younger brother. Let me go 5 days older. Maybe another 5, or maybe another 3. Date, height by age, refresh. No, she doesn't really seem taller than Jack. I hope that gives you the idea though. I think this is a really cool concept. It's not something we've really ever had before. Obviously Lazy Duchess's type mod is very sort of manual and random. Well, kind of mixture of both or one or the other, whether you kind of micromanage the heights or just let it be random. So it's really cool to add these logical systems in terms of growing by age, in terms of having a genetic height within your family. So it's really cool. So if Sims all being the same height has been something that's always bothered you, then I think these are really cool. I'm going to just reload this little mess I have just made, so we don't have to look at Jenny's scary blue face anymore. I don't know what happened there. And then we'll just look at a few more things with this family while we're here. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to look at are these smart photo frames, and they're actually in miscellaneous electronics. So we've got a few here of different sizes. So let me grab this one. They actually proper look like TVs and everything on the back. Okay. Starts way at the bottom, which always annoys me really when things do that. But you can raise it up to be on the wall. And you can kind of make it look like an ordinary photo frame, like with wood swatches. So it doesn't have to look digital once it's on the wall, you know, if you actually place it against the wall and not like floating off it. That's usually a better idea. Then you have this interaction to change the photo. And you can either just choose one from your paintings collection. Now, I don't have much in this one, but usually you can put lots of different paintings in your custom paintings folder, but you could choose any of these and just use one of those, or you can actually take a photo, so I guess just normally or with an effect, and then if you do that it will prompt you to take a photo. That'll do, you know, with some nice posing and things. You can imagine you'd get a much better photo. Right, oh no, I cancelled it. Okay, let me fiddle a bit more. Move this out of the way so we can see them properly. Let's give it a plumber bar and maybe let's do some poses. Right, I'm better set up now, so let's take a normal. Oh, if someone's posing, you can't do it though. Okay, so Johnny, you have to be the non-poser. That'll do, I guess. See, and then should see. Ta-da! Then you have a nice photo of them. How cool is that? That's so cool. Oh, and you can have all these effects on them. So let's do a big net one, but I think you have to take a new one. Oh, that's weird. It kind of just blurred out that side of it. That's weird. Not what I was expecting to happen. But you get the idea. You know, you could play around with that quite nicely, I reckon. Oh, that's very bright. Like it, Jenny's lips. But you know, depending what you take in, you might want different effects. I wish the effects could just be applied on top of the normal picture you've taken, but that's cool. I think I would use the normal one to make nice family portraits on the fly rather than having to make a specific recolor for it and Simpy and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. And if you do want to get better at taking family portraits, which I clearly should do, then Charmful has some good tutorials on it. Next, since I imagine Strange Town's quite a hot place to be, I wanted to look at these revamped air conditioning units. I have had a similar one in my game for a long time, and to be honest, I kind of found it a bit cheaty almost, because I like having, perhaps not so much in Strange Town to be fair, but in a normal HUD, I quite like having radiators in rooms and for them to be on to heat when it's cold. But these air conditioners originally just always maintained everyone at perfect, and so it got a little bit boring. This, I think you might at least be able to self-impose restrictions maybe. So when you can now click on them, before I don't think they did anything, you just place them and that's it. But now they have interactions, and it currently tells you the outdoor, it's -10 degrees outside. What? Are you playing with me? -10 in summer. -10? What? How is it -10? Do I just not know how like Sims temperature works? Why is it so cold? So just make it hotter. I'm at 25. Is this meant to be Fahrenheit? Is it meant to be Celsius? Is it meant to be a custom one? But now it's... Oh, because it's like on this meter, so 0 is the middle. So it's actually perfect. So it's actually slightly colder than that. Still, that's surprising. But you can now change the modes, either just a specific one or them in this row that you'd have more than one in a room. I wouldn't have thought so. I don't know what the kind of radius is. Maybe we'll look at that after. Or just all of them in the house, I guess. So is it just not... Yeah, it isn't normal. And I guess that will just quite well maintain them. Change it to heat. Wonder if they'll heat up. Probably wouldn't heat them up, be uncomfortable, maybe? What about Admiral Arctic? Turbo? I don't know, it seems to just... Oh, me 22. -22. Still very green. Okay, yeah, I mean, it seems to always just be keeping them very comfortable and steady. And there's no option to turn them off, which I'm a bit disappointed about. Let me have a read. So it kind of updates these ones that are by SimLogical and some other ones. See, it seems like you should be able to make them colder than they need to be. Okay, so there's a ceiling one, which I also used to have, and this one, auto selects mode based on current season. Or is that what they're all supposed to do? I mean, it's summer and it was just set to normal. Regulates temperature and maintains hygiene. Ration self. Slightly restores energy, one person at a time. So now they have a limited range, which I guess is why you might want more than one in a big room. They have proper placement, which, yeah, I do remember things going a bit funky with them before. They maintain hygiene instead of comfort. I get it in theory, but not really. I feel like temperature is a big part of whether you're comfortable or not, and also like if it's cold and it's maintaining you warm, then that's not maintaining your hygiene, is it? So I'm not a fan of that change personally. They have selectable modes with different magnitudes of cooling or heating and a target temperature. Each model comes with its own quality and catalogue description. Oh, so some have like different heating capabilities, do they? Not that one. This one is quite expensive. Oh, this is a vertical one. And this one, I guess you meant to place through a wall like that. Cool. And this is the ceiling one. Yeah, it seems like this one's more automatic. So yeah, this one's like more powerful than some of the other ones available. Okay. So it regulates hygiene and keeps it over half the bar. I don't like that at all. Limited coverage sims at the second radius are regulated at a slower rate and beyond are not affected at all. What is the radius though? Regulates sims towards a set range of temperature. What is it though? Turbo mode has enhanced cooling capability. Heat mode regulates bladder instead of hygiene. Nah, what? I feel like both just should be comfort. Probably not that hard to change. The ceiling one automatically sets the mode instead depending on the season, so I'm surprised summer is just normal. I thought you'd want like more cooling, but then it didn't seem very hot outside, so maybe it's because it's the end of the season. Freshen self, interaction to slightly regain energy. I don't get that. I feel like it should just be a faster way of maintaining your temperature, which I feel like is what it did before. Freshen self lasts longer the bigger the difference between body and target temperature. Oh, so maybe it does do that. A heated up sim can regain more energy at a unit on turbo mode. You can only refresh yourself if their energy is below half bar. Sims cannot freshen self on a unit that has been recently purchased or switched mode. Yeah, I feel like it should just be like quickly concentrate on getting your temperature back right. I don't really get this energy thing. Fulfill the buy ceiling fan one. Then these stack. So if I place a load now, maybe, and put them all on turbo, is everyone going to get really cold? I'm spending money they do not have. Put this one here. And then it's like they're all surrounded. And then mode all turbo. It didn't mention anything about the Arctic mode. Are they going to get cold now? Okay, so freshening himself made him colder because it's on Admiral Arctic. feel like it is better than the original, but for me, like, the logic still doesn't make sense to me, and that's why I struggle with them before. Oh, it does give them more information. 2 and 4 tiles. Oh, add Admiral mode for extreme cold temperature and hygiene regulation. So the cheaper ones don't have. I feel like this is a good idea, but for me, it's just not quite clicking. I see how it's improved a lot of things over the original, though. So maybe it's something I could tinker with one day. But maybe the next mod I want to look at might just suffice as an alternative. So let's see. So, as you may have noticed, in this same category, we have some fans as well, which are much cheaper. So there's this one, this floor fan, and I believe that should only do the cooling, not trying to maintain. So you can actually turn it on and off, which I like. So let's turn it on. So perhaps he can't cool off because he doesn't need to. So I guess when a sim's actually hot, then they'd actually be able to use the fan to cool off. I don't know if it just affects the room or not. Yeah, the updated fans can now be turned on and off to cool sims in the same room. Sims coming up to cool off do it quicker, and they also provide some more comfort boost. Much better. Much better. This is good. Let me see if I can make somebody hot then. Oh, it's 20 degrees now. So, well, no, like 20 above comfortable, I guess is what it means. Well, let's make it like really hot. And with them being outside a bit. That didn't work.
How about a cheese?
Yeah. Them being outside a bit. In 89. They should get quite hot. There we go. Okay. So PT is hot now. Now he can come and cool off. So maybe if he just comes in the room, he'll start cooling down. Imagine he would. Oh yeah, pretty quickly actually. He can still cool off, even though it's comfortable. That's interesting. Will he get him completely cold, I wonder? That's it. That's all I needed. Okay. I like that. I feel like that's more balanced between like the radiators and you've got something for hot weather and something for cold. I do like that. Let me just have a little look at the other models. Doesn't look like I'd like them as much. I don't know, they're quite ugly, aren't they? But fans are, to be fair. This one looks a bit more industrial. I wish there were more models. I think overall, for most families anyway, I think I'd prefer, like a normal hood that has a full seasonal cycle. I think I'd prefer to have the radiators you turn on in winter when it's cold and fans that you need to get out and turn on in summer when it's hot. I have always used similar 90s temperature mod, which makes the temperatures more severe and impactful, so I feel like you definitely do need something to manage it with that mod, otherwise you can have like children being taken away and all kinds of things. The air conditioners make it easy, but kind of like too easy. I think it's okay for like, I feel like if I were playing Strange Town I wouldn't have a winter in it. It'd just be like summer all the time if I were doing it. So maybe like in situations like that, then it's weird, isn't it? Because like they all have fireplaces. Maybe it would get kind of cold. I just can't imagine it snowing. Maybe I'd have the full cycle, but then use like the one we looked at last time where you can kind of tune precipitation levels to like no precipitation ever, and it can just get cold but would never rain or snow. That's probably better. What am I saying? What a tangent. But saying if you are playing somewhere where you just feel like it wouldn't get cold, then maybe aircons are better than having fans that look very temporary, like you'd think you'd put this in storage when you don't need it kind of thing, rather than being part of the furniture. Interesting. It gives me things to think about. But I think they're good options. Obviously you can use them both at the same time. You don't have to choose between them. So yeah, handy. And also while we're here, another electronic is another one of Jackie93 Sims VR goggles. They've got a new design, these ones. Kind of put on the table. They look different, and it says they're updated to Free Time by Lime Yoshi. Now, the original ones had like a full update with some various improvements, as well as updating them to Free Time, like a lot of fixes and improvements. So I don't know if that means actually all of those are applied, or literally Jackie 93 Sims has just kind of gone with the Free Time bit. I'm not sure. The old ones were a bit janky without that update, I'm afraid to say. But let's see. I think children can use them, yeah. Let's see. See Jill use them. Just gonna spin round to put them on. Oh, and they're still on the table. And then I imagine she's gonna have some fun. Will the Free Time update gain her some gaming enthusiasm? So she's just gonna cycle through information. Yeah, she's gonna have fun with it. Is she gaining enthusiasm? She doesn't seem to be gaining any enthusiasm. I mean, if you cancel it out, she'll take them off. But I think sometimes you can get stuck, or they could on the original version. But yeah, it's a cool way to gain some fun. I'm not sure in what way it was updated to Free Time. Oh my, Jenny, let's get you cooled off. I'm so sorry for leaving you in there in the hot. Move ball. Cool off. Come on. Goodness. There we go. Yeah, straight back down bit just from walking in the room, which is good. Yeah, it didn't take long at all to get her back to normal. There we go. Easy. Okay, yeah, they're very powerful cooling. But yeah, I think that's about everything I wanted to look at with this family. Okay, I've just gone and plonked the cat family down in Pleasant View so that we have some pets, because my idea for this main mod I want to look at is that if you've got quite a lot of pets, say, and you want a little area where just the pets go, then you could build a little place for them, which is what I want to see here, because look, we have a new default replacement for the blank walls. That I think that's converted from The Sims 4, so if you prefer the look of those default walls, then grab that. And then I also need this new door. Look, we've got a little door, and it's just especially for pets. But I think as it currently is, I do think Sims can actually go in. Yeah, they can. So, but not to worry, because all you need to do is grab this mod, which makes it so when you actually lock for all Sims, it means just Sims, not adults. So if I lock for all Sims, can whoever is doing that just like stop? Can you all just stop? Like, just please stop. Now she shouldn't be able to go in. Do these stack if you were to disallow pets? Then yeah, so it's still locked for all Sims, so she can't go in now, but these should all be able to go in here. Yeah, so she can't go in, but the cats can. Sometimes it might be helpful for just routing, you know, you might still want to have 2 doors, one for Sims, but then you would disallow pets from this one, and then they're not going to block each other in the doorway and things like that. So if you've just got like a crazy pet household, you know, yeah. So if you've got a use for just having a little flap just for pets to go, then that's what you need, plus the mod that just changes the logic about what disallow Sims does and makes it just actual Sims, because then you can always, you know, disallow pets on top of that. If you are trying to literally lock it for all Sims and pet, you can still do that. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense with or without this door, and it's just a cool option, isn't it, to have a door just for pets. Okay, I've now just quickly moved Sid into apartment. I wanted to take a quick look at Dina's residential care again because it's been updated, so I'm curious what NPCs we're going to have move in this low class lot. So I'm going to have Sid rent this one, I guess. And now I also wanted to look at some new memories as well. So here they are. I don't know why he has 2 memories about moving in. I have only moved him in once. I don't know if he just has those. But we now have this moved into an apartment and rented apartment memories. So these are new automatically applied memories by Nopkey. So what happens, it is only Sid in this house. But see, Porthos does, see, he has all the moved in memories as well. That's very weird. Anyway, Porthos has the memory for moving in, like Sid does, but he has the memory for renting it because he was the one that actually like signed the deed. So you don't have to have, they're all like individual. You don't have to have them both. You could just pick one or the other, or have them both. But yeah, it's just the person that actually signs over that gets this one, and the rest of the household gets moved in to one as well. And there's some others, but let's first just see who turns up. Okay, it looks like we've got 2 delivery men here now.
Ooh.
And Orlando Santowski as a teenager. Who is he? Isn't he a townie? He's just a normal Pleasant View townie. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, no, it's what it's meant to do. So it expands a pool of Sims the game for apartment neighbours, letting townies, dormies, safe service NPCs, and downtownies move in. And there's 2 versions, one that will completely block the social group townies being generated, and the other would still generate them if everyone else that could move in ran out. So I've got the one that completely stops them, but there's a lot of townies and safe NPCs that could move in. You know, even if you still want social group townies, it should still reduce the amount of Sims in your HUD, because there's a long list of Sims that would prioritize moving in before making new ones. Teenagers can now live in apartments. They are orphans, so it makes sense for them to move in their own. So we did just see 2 grocery delivery people, but there's a long list of possible ones. Last time we just saw the 3 maids move into a low class, and even though we got the bit of the variation with a teenager, I wonder if it's still like, I don't know, you're still going to get like the same type more so in one lot. I'm not sure. There's also special assignments for if you have a mod that lets you have university apartments in universities. But yeah, I just wanted to draw your attention that this has been updated. I don't want to spend too long on it because we have done before, but yeah, it seems like the selection of Sims that will move in has been improved, and also I think the kind of tuning has been improved and clearer. I kind of struggled with that, and I think I mentioned somewhere down here. Yeah, so they fixed some incorrect family instance values, because I've managed to point out this error. So I was finding like inconsistency with like the kind of IDs to put in for each people, and it just turned out that some of those weren't quite right. So it should all be correct and consistent now. So when you go to tune it yourself, it should be quite easy to follow, and you can trust that, you know, it's doing as the mod page is saying it does. But yeah, sounds like it's had some pretty interesting improvements. And it's also had a like separate mod for university dormies, which we'll look at shortly. But first, I just want to finish looking at these new memories. So we've also got a new memory for hiring a butler, which I think makes sense. That's pretty significant event, and casting your first spell when you're a witch. So let's hire a butler. And there we go, we've got our memory for hiring a butler. Sure, it does seem a bit fancy, but finally I can just relax. Now I only need to raise a finger. Dinner is served and the house is clean. How's that sound? Cool. I do think it's like, you know, pretty cool and unusual if you're hiring a butler, so makes sense, I guess. Okay, so Sid is now a neutral witch, and I've made some mystic dust, so now he can cast the cleanest corpus spell, which I believe increases hygiene. So let's do that.
Ha ha ha. Raha. Blibzab. Raha.
There we go, it's nice and clean. And cast first spell. And then can he now, yes, he can increase his mood. But then we shouldn't get a memory because he's already done his first spell. there, and that's lifted his mood, but he still just has that one. So yeah, I really like new memories that are automatically added. I think that they're just a really cool type of mod, and I'm always interested in new ones. Now, there was something else I was going to show you in an apartment, but I think I've actually misunderstood, so I'll just show you here. We've actually got a clone of the apartment door, so it's just a door that looks like the apartment door. I believe it's not actually meant to be used in apartments, and it has the symlogical colour key system, which is just a way that you can assign kind of key groups to different people. So this is a way of having like kind of simulating apartments on residential lots without actually being in apartments. So only certain Sims can go in certain doors, which is handy if you want to just control all the Sims at once, or just like this explains, just kind of avoid the kind of bugginess that apartments have, which I would definitely understand and relate to. So yeah, if you just want a door that actually looks like apartments for a better job at simulating those apartments with this colour key system, then you'll want to grab that. Sorry, I'm not actually showing you it in game, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, I've just grabbed Jimmy Phoenix from the lot bin in Sim State University and moved him into this huge dorm, which is weird for me seeing because I believe this is the one that I renovated for Veronaville. Well, actually, it wasn't initially for Veronaville. I just did it up and then used it in Veronaville. But anyway, I wanted to look at the Dina's Residential Care University module, which changes the calculation of dormies that move in. And I think the most significant thing about it is that it's possible that cheerleaders and mascots can actually be dormies. So I'll just give it a bit of time and we'll see who moves in. We've got Ali Hutchins, which I believe is just a normal down it. Yeah, look, we've got a mascot come in. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna claim a room. There we go. We've actually got a mascot living here. Oh, and a cheerleader is coming as well. I suppose it makes sense, because otherwise, like, where are these Sims really? It kind of... I wasn't sure how I felt about this, but it kind of makes some sense, I guess. But then I did think it would kind of annoy me seeing, like, the mascot outfits all the time. Yeah, we've got another dorming. I think you'd see the main... Oh, sorry, I didn't complete the road here. I think you'd seen the main benefit of this when you've been in and out. A few dorms had Sims move around, finish uni, come back, you know, empty out dorms, completely go back to them, or a different dorm. I think you'd see the more benefit. So this is mostly based on Nopke's Random Dormies mod, which stops the same kind of dormies appearing over and over again. Again, it might be like a highest, like an ID order thing. It'll now pick more randomly from the pool of dormies rather than the same ones over and over again. I think usually you'd find when you first go into a dorm, it'd be the same ones that get selected to move in, like each time you tried it. So that fixes that, and really any of them are fair game in any order. And also, once like your playable Sims have moved out of an apartment, those dormies that lived there are now no longer stuck. They can then move into a new dorm with your playables rather than just having nowhere to live, as far as I'm understanding. I'll just let everyone finish moving in and then we'll check who we've got and we'll look at the description. So yeah, I think these are mostly just Sim State townies, but we've got a few cheerleaders and mascots sprinkled in there, so it seems like a good distribution really. So we've got one cheerleader, two cheerleader, one mascot, and then that's everyone. So I think that's quite a good mixture. So I do think the main difference, or perhaps the only difference between this mod, Dina's Residential Care University module, which is a new one, and Nopke's Random Dorm is, if I'm understanding, the only difference is this mod allows the mascots and cheerleaders to be able to live in a dormitory. I think everything else is random dormies. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the understanding I'm getting. So depending whether you want the mascots or cheerleaders to live in your dorms will depend which one you want to get. Because I believe this when you move a household into a dormitory, its residents are randomly selected from non-playable students who don't already live elsewhere. Originally, the same Sims tended to be selected over and over again. And if a lot, especially a dormitory, is no longer occupied by a playable household or no longer exists, you could even just completely bulldoze it. The non-playable Sims who live there lose their room keys and can now actually move to another dormitory. Originally, they were trapped and couldn't live anywhere else. So yeah, if you had a dormitory, had some dorms moved into it, completely bulldoze it, I think you'd never see those dormies again. But these 2 points are taken exactly from here. So if you just want that, this is still the mod you need. This is nothing new. But if you do like the addition of cheerleaders and mascots moving in as well, then you'll want this one. A couple of things to look at in CAS now, and firstly we've got these unlocked and decustomized Max's face overlays. So we've got freckles that have actually existed in the game. What is that? Whatever that one is. Looks like nothing to me. Same with that one. And all of those. Interesting. I will check on the description what on earth they were supposed to be. But yeah, we've got freckles and we've got zits. So if you want to make someone zitty. We've got an alien one. Okay, so these are for the different skin tones, are they? What? Where does that come from? We've got like heat, or is that sunstroke maybe? We've got wrinkles. So it's good to have some wrinkle. They are very, very severe though. I feel like I could only see myself ever using that one ever really. But you know, it's cool to have. Let me see what they were supposed to be. Hickeys. Arm braces. That's why we couldn't see anything. A hickey, you say? Oh my god, look! There's hickeys, and I guess these are braces. Can I make you... Oh, can we see braces? Braces? I can't really see. But yes, one of them is braces. So that's cool. Yeah, if you just want those to be an option for you to select, then that's nice to have that as an option. We've also got some new face sliders to look at, and I'm realising I do have some other custom sliders by Simnotki. So these with the little triangle aren't new, they're just in this downloads folder. I was under the impression that I had these, there was like a clean UI version of these, but never mind. But yeah, these ones without a triangle are new. So we've got cheekbone width. So you can plump out the cheekbones and adjust the vertical height. I think it's just those two there. No new brow ones. I think that's something else as well. Oh, these are lots in the nose. Bridge shaper. Okay, you can make the nose bridge wider. That's cool. In like 2 areas. Okay. So you could make it like thick at the top and thin at the bottom, or thin at the top and God, maybe not so much, and wide at the bottom. Or you can make it look like they've got a broken nose by slanting it to one side. No way. Adjust the nose fold. And that's cool. Sometimes I think they're just randomly too severe and I want to smooth them out. So that's cool that you can do that. Oh, and you can rotate them another way too. Adjust the nose height. Adjust the tip. Obviously I'm being quite extreme, but I hope you can imagine that you could actually get some really nice sort of results with these. Upper lip width. Okay. Kind of like the stash area. Interesting. And the jaw squareness. Oh, cool. You can give it a nice square jaw. Nice. I'm always interested to see new sliders. I think maybe thinking about these custom sliders, I think it might actually be the White UI for Body Shop that they are customized with, so I'm not sure how these will look there. I get that these might kind of be custom, but I don't know. I feel like it's like unlocking something that you can do. So it's like unusual. That makes sense. It's kind of like modifying your capabilities. We've also got some more AM clothing tweaks by P. Forrest. And I've said before, I don't really know how these differ from Leto Mills's project. I have a very bad eye for these, like identifying what's changed. This looks a lot less boxy. Get a man on the go to this one. Yeah, this looks a bit more... Wow, they look really flared, actually. I thought they looked less flared. Why not put these in? No, yeah, I've definitely put them in. I wasn't expecting the jeans to look so flared. They look a lot straighter there to me. But I can see like this looks more like curved, which I'm seeing. Okay. Something about the zip on that athletic wear. Where outfit has more details on the cuffs and the collar.
C'est BellaDovah.
Okay.
Never glaive.
So I think these do go a bit beyond just adding fat and pregnancy morphs, but I believe that is what they do. Yes, with added pregnancy morphs. So they've all been given pregnancy morphs and just had some minor mesh tweaks. So that looks better, being a bit more cinched in. Let's have a look at that. I quite actually use these robes a lot.
C'est morning. Ha ha! Zalava. Oh,
I think you do need a before and after to get the full effect, but yeah, it just actually looks like that's tied at the waist rather than just sat loosely round, so that's nice. So yeah, I suppose that's the benefit like over that. So the Leto Mills one, I think mostly just improves the fat morph and adds preg morph, whereas this has got some various more detailed, subtle improvements going on. And lastly, I just wanted to look at some custom dog markings. And yeah, I realise this is really getting into CC, but I feel like it's just, you don't see pet markings every day, so I always just like to look at them and grab the ones I can. I think they're just kind of a lesser breed of CC. So these are compared from The Sims 3, and we've got all different kinds of chest markings for dogs. Is it all chest markings? Yeah, seven new markings. So yeah, I just wanted to show you because they're not common or easy to find. So yeah. Alright, so I think that's basically everything I needed to be in game for. Now I wanted to look at some tools, and first we've got this Ultimate Randomizer tool. So it can help you randomize character creation. So obviously I have some new sliders, so I could increase the amount of sliders. And then if I randomize again, it'll have just all the orders of your sliders to go through. On what page? All of them? Just you like click through each slider on each page and follow what it says for some random looking sims, and you can randomize it to help you just create unique sims. We've also got a personality randomizer. You can just randomize it. It'll give you an aspiration, zodiac sign, personality points, and it turns on and turns off. You can also randomize random events, which is cool, like a Ross random occurrence scenario. So cook 5 meals and store them as leftover for the coming week. Call up the garden club and see how your garden measures up. Toss a football outside with a friend or family member today. So if you just want to kind of add some variation to your Sims Live without just going like kind of completely story based or completely wants based, just giving that element of randomization, you could use that just as some like gameplay ideas to spice it up a bit, things that you wouldn't ordinarily do, which is interesting. So yeah, if you just like something to help you randomize things, then check that out. I also want to look at this Open Sims 2 DB, but I'm just looking at the prerequisites, and it does say FileMaker Pro, so I'm not sure if this would actually need a paid version of another software. I don't know what you can do for free. What the hell? I've got a... It costs £500. I feel like you could acquire that. Just because I've got to install another program I don't really understand. I don't think I'm actually gonna take a look at this time. But basically it's supposed to like automatically pull in your data of what you've got going on, as far as I'm understanding. So it's supposed to be a revamp of this project, this application, which I think doesn't work anymore. So yeah, it's just a way of having a database for your Sims. I feel like I'm alright with Simpy and spreadsheets, but yeah, if you like the sound of that, then definitely check this out. Alright, now I've just closed my game. Probably should have had a little quick look at this in CAS, but I'm going to be lazy and just leave this here. I find it quite hard to tell the difference anyway. It kind of looks like there's more shapely hip hips, higher waistband. But that's about all I'm noticing. So there's just like a mesh improvement for this outfit and gives it a pregnancy morph. So obviously we want to see the pregnancy in CAS anyway. So yeah, that's just another little mesh tweak by P Forest. And now I'm just gonna run through the mod pages for things that are just, there's not really much to see in game. They're just kind of self-explanatory or kind of just do things in the background. To be honest, this section probably won't continue going forward. I may keep them on my web post but not actually have this section in the video just to save some time. Maybe if like something that I think is a really big worth highlighting, then I will mention it in the video, but otherwise yeah, I'm gonna see what to do about that going forward. But anyway, we've got these baby toddler feeding fixing changes, which I do think is a very significant good mod by Nopkey. Again, like the bathing fixes we looked at last time, this was in Nopkey's kind of unreleased work in progress mods, and now it's got this official release. So this is 5 mods and an add-on that either fix or improve various issues with feeding babies and toddlers, and as we all know, it needs some work. There are a mix of feeding related fixes by the baby toddler mod by Similar90 and baby toddler food and feeding fixes by Dickher without its additional baby feeding features with further improvements. Okay, so now you can't just pull a bottle out of an empty fridge. If you run out of food points, you can't get a bottle, which I believe is part of DH's mod. And the feed toddler interaction doesn't show toddlers drinking milk in high chairs. It's like you're not going to feed the same toddler that's already eating, I guess. It won't show if they're not present on the lot. Any sim can no longer autonomously try to get a bottle of milk for a toddler that is being carried by someone else. And after taking a bottle of milk from the fridge to feed a baby, the sim moves away from the fridge, which again is part of DH's mod that I've always had, and has really saved a lot of frustration, so that's good. It's got some high chair fixes as well as fridge fixes. So there's some improved logic around like which fridge that can be used when they're trying to feed a toddler in a high chair. And if there is like no suitable fridge, it won't show at all as an interaction. Fixes for nannies, butlers, and apartment neighbours, so they won't ignore the baby or toddler they're currently carrying to address the feeding. They won't try and feed a toddler who is like currently eating, I guess, or about to. They won't try and take a toddler out of the high chair while they're eating or they're hungry and are about to start eating. They'll try to use a bottle that's already out of unspoiled milk within 20 tiles of them that's available rather than taking a new one out. They won't try and choose a fridge or a high chair in an inaccessible room. And they just won't put a toddler in a high chair if there's no fridge that contains enough food to actually prepare the toddler food. There's asking for food fixes, so when a toddler asks a sim for food, the sim can only choose a bottle of milk that's not spoiled and at least 20% full. A fridge that contains the right requirements, a high chair that's available, not in an accessible room or a different apartment or anything like that. So this replaces a bunch of different mods and it's compatible with accessible high chairs. There's an add-on just specifically if you've only got the base game and no expansion packs. High chair remote eating fix mod. When a sim is getting a toddler out of a high chair, the toddler should no longer grab a bottle from the tray or soy and mush. This means they shouldn't continue drinking or eating remotely on the ground, which can cause glitches. Milk bottle interaction exit fix mod. With this mod, if more than one sim tries to interact with a bottle of regular milk or smart milk and one of them fails while the other succeeds, the bottle is no longer incorrectly marked as not in use. If a sim stops interacting with a bottle of regular milk, the milk level no longer decreases slightly for no reason. More patient bottle given to toddler. If a sim tries to give a bottle of milk to a toddler on the ground, they will wait around 17 sim minutes before giving up and dropping the bottle. Yeah, I feel like they did this immediately. There was like no patience at all. Nannies leave some bottles mod. With this mod, a nanny, butler, or an apartment neighbour nanny can no longer dispose of a bottle of milk that is at least 20% full and not spoiled. And it's got all kinds of conflicting information, including about the mod that this is meant to replace. So the baby toddler food and fixing, you're not supposed to use them together. So this mod is based on a conflicting mod, but it doesn't include the feature of feeding a baby while sitting. Why not? I like that feature. But then this one has a load of other improved fixes. That's a shame. I thought it was very cute that they could sit down to feed a baby a bottle. I might ask why. I'm curious. the baby toddler mod, which I believe I probably had as well, which you can actually use together. So yeah, Notpkey is great with conflict information. Next, we have some custom terrains and roads, which I've not shown because, again, it's like edit your program files. So I believe this is like a way of having multiple types of terrain. So like, as you can see, these are all like lush or tempera, as you could call them, but they look completely different. So you could have like different configurations. So I think when you're going to select like a new HUD and what terrain you want to use, instead of just having to stick with one default, you could make just completely new templates or like use these as templates as well. We've got Kiss of the Vampire Fix. It's an alternative approach to creature fixes, biting changes, which I've always used, but I imagine you could load this last. Can also help you with a situation where grand vampires might get stuck in the blaying and not biting anyone. It lets grand vampires preserve their distinctive behaviour of trying to bite sims whose relationship is very high, and adds checks to prevent them from choosing certain NPCs after the biting frenzy has started. I don't get how vampires work. It prevents them from wasting a loop or causing issues of choosing universal NPCs, service NPCs, hobby magens, and garden club members. Since currently there's no limit on how many sims they can turn, this mod also makes them less likely to bite. To balance this, allows more sims to be turned by playables. Also has an optional text notification that pops up when a grand vampire is about to bite a sim. Now they can coexist and do normal things, sim things too, instead of biting like there's no tomorrow. They'll turn someone once in a while, but you always have the matchmaker and the high witch to buy a cure in case you don't want the gift. If you play with vampires a lot and that makes sense to you, then you might want this. I just wanted to draw a note that Lamar has made an add-on for the laundry mod that now has a stack of clothes you can buy, and when you do and put that on a lot, the whole laundry system will just pause. So if you want an option to be able to have a break from it, then this is that. I wouldn't want that because, you know, I feel like if you've got it, you've got it kind of thing. But if you're getting overwhelmed, I suppose it's nice to have. A garden sprinkler range hider. So this blue overlay is visible in buy and build modes, but invisible in live mode like you'd want. But it also appears on the option menu, which, you know, is used to take good screenshots and things. So you'd always be able to see that. So this mod consists of two objects, both look like sprinklers and can be found in general miscellaneous section. One is used to turn the visibility of the sprinkler range on, and the other is to turn it off. When visibility is enabled, the sprinkler range indicator behaves just like it does, but otherwise you'll be able to hide it, just so you can take some nice screenshots in that options menu. Bug box and diploma can be put in any inventory. So in a modded game, bug boxes and graduation diplomas can only be placed in the inventory of the sim who originally earned them, which can be a problem when you want to move a family to another house and keep all the heirlooms or like inherit things and people are no longer alive. So this just removes that restriction. We've got an edit of the community lot skilling mod, which I think we can all agree is basically an essential. You know, why couldn't you gain skills on community lots? That was crazy. But it also allowed for reputation to be gained on lots of residential lots, which was a bit, you know, you could be a social celebrity just by being close with your family at home, which didn't make much sense. So that just removes that part of it, which is very good. I would use that unless there's not like, there's probably like a trait mod that I use instead, but I definitely want that feature. And we've got a mod, potty chairs for trash bin. So there's a mod where you can empty your potties in the bin, which I've always wanted because I think it makes sense. But for me, it's normal to empty them in the toilets, is it? I mean, maybe if you were like literally tipping it out, but with the way Sims get like a doggy doo-doo bag and flush that, that's crazy. Surely you're not binning plastic. So I don't personally like that they used to take it to the toilet, but if you did like that, this mod just enables that on the toilet stalls. We've got a longer season mod, and you know, we've seen stuff like this and it's easy to do, but I thought it was interesting because the days are various lengths. So we've got a 14-day spring, an 18-day summer, a 12-day fall, and a 16-day winter. So just to draw your attention that, you know, the season don't actually all need to be the same length. And to go with that, a lifespan mod. So baby for 5 days, solid for 10 days, it's for a long child for 13 days, teen for 21 days, adult for 45 days, and elder for 10 days. So it's quite a long lifespan, but not like ridiculously so. We've got Maxis produce can be placed on surfaces. Why in the hell couldn't it be? I imagine this is much easier to be able to sell them. I made a mod similar to this for the handheld game device, but yeah, I've never really played with produce much, but yes, if I had noticed it couldn't be on surfaces, that would drive me mad, so now it can. We've got a fix for Midge's more attractive gaming competitions. So the mod actually ends up doing a completely different thing from what they intended. In short, it doesn't actually change who it advertises to, which is actually Playful Sim Seeking Social and Lazy Sim Seeking Fun, and instead makes it less likely for Playful Sims to consider starting or joining a competition. So this fixes it. So if you've liked the idea of that mod but still haven't seen anyone playing gaming competitions, which I can certainly say I haven't, then this fixes that, so that's good. We've got a Lost Maxis Rock. It now just puts it in the catalogue, this medium-sized Bon Voyage rock. We've got a fixed version of the Pet Stories bed, which has bothered me before. So it used to cause an error when it was dirty, and now this fixes it. I do consider the stories conversions very core, and it's almost like no CC or very CC light. So I feel like a lot of people have this bed, which is just why I wanted to point out that it was a bit buggy, but now this is a fixed version of it. We've got an Italian NPC name mod by Dina, who did the Townie apartment dormy mods, just to change the name, the pool of randomly generated townies to all be Italian. So if that's the kind of HUD you've got going on, then you will probably like this. It even shows you specific names if you want to look. My actual first name and last name are both in this list because they're Italian, so that's cool. But yeah, like I said before, I actually made, I imagine, can I see? Yeah, it's the live package, you see, so you wouldn't be able to use this with the Zodiac replacement, the Elder Scrolls ones we looked at, because you can only have one of these unless you actually made them compatible, which probably isn't that difficult. You just have to kind of merge them together in SimPE. Like I said before, I've actually made my own version of this ones with my own names. A lot of them were based on Italian, but some other kind of names as well. So I might dig that out one day. But yeah, we've got a mod for the Go to College one. So this stops the Go to College one from appearing unless they are 3 or less days away from aging, which I really like. I find it a little bit risky because I do like to play Want Space, but I basically want all of my teenagers to go to college. It's like, oh yes, some don't go. No, I really want them to go and have that experience. I just enjoy it. But it really does hog a slot for their whole teenage span, which for me is 14 days. That's a long time to have this want taken up when you're not planning on doing it. For me, at the end of that, I would never send a teenager to college early. They're having the whole teenage lifespan, so that is that's great. We've got a proper fix for the plants in Witch Hair. So if you remember last time we looked at this huge set of mini fixes, I imagine most of you probably didn't stick around to hear me go through them all, but there was a fix in here which had a workaround, but this properly fixes it. So with this mod, when a plant with sim becomes a witch or vice versa, they are no longer assigned the incorrect version of their hair, green or wilted. In addition, their hair will change according to their needs, just like normal plant sims. It will wilt when the needs are low and turn green when they're high again. So Lena's workaround was just for it to always be green rather than it always be wilted, but this is a proper fix. So the plant sim hair that sticks out under the witch hat will be the proper colour that it's supposed to be. So that's excellent to see a full fix for that. And we've got this customizable risk of fire while cooking. So it's tuning. So it's got 3 sets always, 75, 50 or 25 based on skill, or just never. But you can just use this to kind of tweak it to how you like the odds to be. I personally have the sims with the natural cook trait or have high cooking skill won't set fires ever. But yeah, there's some good options and a clear way for you to just tune it how you like. We've got lifespan patches for skilling and the trait update enthusiasm decay. What? Lifespan patches for skilling plus trait update and enthusiasm gain or decay. So if you play with lifespan mods and want to adjust how slowly a sim gains a skill or hobby enthusiasm and lose hobby, then this allows you to do it. So it's an update to a patch of similar skill speed mod, and it includes the trait changes from their trait skill speed mod with some updates like night owls will gain it faster at night. And then there's patches for tuning Fisher's enthusiasm overhaul. So it kind of guides you how to adjust the gain and decay of those suitable for your lifespan, I guess. And the same author has also prevented no counter tantrums, as it stops Sims from yelling at you when you cancel the prepare food interaction when they have a food prep tray in their hands or in the middle of preparing food. Then they won't scream as if there's no counter, because that's not the issue. It's just that you've stopped them from doing it. So it does mean that they'll probably place it on the floor now, though. We've got some mod for the loner trait, so it will make loner sims not roll the want to make a friend, be friends with someone they've met, meet someone new, or invite someone over, and prevent loners from wanting to throw a party. It lowers the chance that loners will bring a friend home from work. It will give them a high chance of not answering the phone autonomously when it's ringing. There's some custom want trees. So I think instead of like replacing want trees, it's custom want trees. Am I understanding that right? So we've got the enabling the Go steady wants and fears for adults and elders, but you can just put it in your downloads folder. Same with the breakup want fix. Again, you can just put it in your downloads folder rather than it being. So is this, yeah, it's like literally a normal package file that you can put in your folder and have like multiple of these rather than it overriding your actual wants trees, which is very interesting. We've got a stop researching mod, so college dormies will stop researching if their fun bar or mood drops below a higher level. And in a modded game, it only checks for a mood below -25, which is really quite low. So this changes the minimum mood to 0, which is the middle. And it also added a no check for fun motive. So they shouldn't like be just only doing that and missing class and things because they're just stuck researching. This mod prevents apartment neighbours from complaining about the smell. Like you might just have a dirty dish around and you've gone to bed, so they won't come and complain about the smell because usually they don't really give you enough time to address it anyway. And lastly, we've got a addition to the centerpiece enabler mod, which is like essential, so Sims can still eat in food places at a table even if there's something in the middle, but now there's all kinds of new items that can work as that being in the middle of the table and it still be okay. So there's a side effect there which I think is kind of a shame. Doing homework on a table with dishes on the spot is now possible and it would look like your sim is writing on the plate, which is a bit annoying, but in theory like these things are in the middle of the table, they should still be able to eat at those spots either side of them. And there we have it, that's everything I found this time. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed this content. Let me know which mods you'll be adding to your downloads folder, I'd love to hear. I'll be back again soon with my best mods of 2025, so stay tuned for that. I'll also be somewhat continuing this series throughout 2026, but in a slightly different format, probably just covering my favourites because trying to cover absolutely everything is getting a bit tiring and overwhelming. And I'm sure many of you are finding these long videos a bit too much to watch through. So I'll likely start focusing on just those that really grab my attention, but I'll consider continuing to list all of my finds on my web posts. So I hope that's alright with you. Let me know your thoughts. A shorter format may even allow for more frequent uploads, which would be exciting. Anyway, in the meantime, you can always support me by becoming a Patreon or buy me a coffee, and remember to use my affiliate link when shopping on Loaded. Keep in touch on my Discord and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys!